What is up, Who Dat Nation? Welcome inside another edition of the Straight Up Saints podcast. I guess our little watch edition of the Straight Up Saints podcast. We have the New York Jets and the New Orleans Saints in Week 16. The Saints are looking to make it 3 wins in a row for the first time in the Kellen Moore era. They played spoiler 2 weeks ago against the Buccaneers, then decided it was so fun they wanted to do it again and played spoiler against the Carolina Panthers in Week 15 with a really impressive comeback win. They were down 17-7, fought their way back into it, and got the job done. So let's see how they kind of go off those 2 upset wins and play at home where they're favored to beat the New York Jets. I think it's interesting. So we're going to get this thing started with an early kickoff here from Dante Pettis, who's kind of carving his way down to the 27 of New Orleans. So yeah, a lot to get to in this game, a lot to analyze. I think offensively, how do they look? They're going to be even more banged up than usual. Audric Estime is most likely your lead back. Kevin Austin Jr. is your wide receiver 2 or 3, with Mason Tipton being the others because Vele's on IR. Neal's now injured. So the Saints are banged up more than ever. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see how Tyler Shuck and this offense kind of handles that task on, with a skeleton crew skill player group, I would say. So 1st and 10 here. The Saints are going to get it started with a pass. Shuck's going to drop back, look to throw deep. He's going to throw this one over the middle of the field. Ends up being incomplete. He wanted Olave. No good there, though. And that could have been a really big hitter to start this one. So I tweeted this before the game started, and I really feel it's true. The Saints, they got to show me that they can start to get this offense rolling early. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing a game-winning drive from Tyler Shuck. There's nothing wrong with that. I love seeing the late-game heroics against the Bucs, but you want to get this offense rolling out the gate. 2nd and 10, they're going to hand it off to Taysom Hill, and Taysom Hill's going to gain a real – oh, and Taysom Hill fumbled. Well, all right, man. So the one thing you don't want to do against a bad football team is turn the football over, and that's exactly what the Saints do on their second play of the game. And that is just beyond rough to watch. And let's see if that ball is ripped out clean. And it is. It is. And I'll get to your comments in a sec. Kellen Moore's got to keep Taysom Hill on the bench. I'm not kidding. And I see Saints AK41 saying it. I couldn't agree more. Taysom Hill is beyond ass. Beyond ass. And I love Taysom Hill. You can't keep playing him if he doesn't provide any value. And I think that's where we're at right now. Ed saying, Lord have mercy. We'll see. I think that ball's out. I know they're reviewing it. I think that ball's out. And this is exactly what we were talking about with the Saints. Offensively, slow starters. Rough, man. So, yeah, that's one way to start this game, an immediate turnover. So the Jets essentially will start the first half with the ball and start the second half with the ball. Stop giving Taysom the ball, for God's sakes. What a Saints start. At what point are we going to sit him down? I'm not sure. Jets are going to roll out with play action on the first play, and they're going to gain a nice little about 3 or 4 yard gain to get their offense started. I know we're banged up, but damn. Yeah, look, I would look at it this way, guys. I love Taysom Hill. Everyone knows that I'm a huge Taysom Hill fan. He's one of my favorite Saints, and I think the selflessness he's had to play special teams, running back, tight end, whatever it may be, whatever the Saints asked, and he says, I'll do it. I think there's a lot of respect that needs to go that way. But the NFL is, what have you done for me lately? It always has been. And Taysom Hill hasn't done anything for the Saints this year that warrants key usage. So 2nd and 10 here. You have Mitchell in motion. Going to hand it off to Breece Hall, and Breece Hall is going to get pushed ahead to the first down marker. So the Jets are in business to start this game. So yeah, really frustrating. Really frustrating. It's your boy X saying, I mean, it was a good run, but got to secure the ball. I mean, I totally get that, but here's the problem, right? And it was a good run. It was like an 8 or 9 yard gain to start this one. I don't care if he gains 8 or 9 yards if he's going to lose the football. I'd rather him get stuffed at the line of scrimmage, but hold on to it. So I think that's the frustrating aspect of it. And you put your defense in a tight spot. And look, I don't think this drive would be the killer to this game. Jets can go up 7-0 and the Saints could be fine, but it's just not how you want to start it. Saints defense right there, run defense stepping up. Chase Young has been phenomenal this year. Phenomenal. Literally hurting his legacy, and it hurts my heart to see. Please ride off into the sunset, Xavier says. I mean, I totally get that. I think a lot of Saints fans, and kind of understandably so, right? With the way Taysom's played, you might get into a situation where you're thinking, man, I don't want to watch him be a mess anymore. It's tough to watch because we're so used to him making big plays, and obviously that isn't the case right now in New Orleans. So I totally get that 100%. 2nd and 9 from the Saints 25. Brady Cook's going to take the shotgun snap. He's going to throw it out right. It's going to be a immediate first down. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the New Orleans 13. That's a really, really nice play right there by the Jets. Just an easy, quick hitter for your quarterback. Make life a little easy. And I think that's exactly what they needed in that spot. So Jets are in prime position here to put 7 on the board. We'll see if the Saints can kind of have that bend but don't break mentality. And Lord knows they're going to need it there. But yeah, that's a nice quick hitter for the Jets in that spot. 1st and 10 from New Orleans 13. They're in a motion, Breece Hall. Brady Cook's going to take the snap. It's going to be a run, and what a nice play by Demario Davis. It should be a loss of 3 right there. Demario looking great. I don't know what he does in the offseason to keep himself this fresh at this stage in his career, but that's a really good play there. Let's watch that another angle. Yeah, just shoots the gap, man. No one home to block Demario, and that's about as easy of a tackle for a loss that he's going to have in his career. And yeah, look, I'm all for the Demario love. I think Demario has been awesome at times this year, which is crazy to say, given where he's at. 2nd and long, and that ball is going to get swatted away. Nice job by New Orleans. So it's going to be 3rd and long, Bullard with the pass breakup. 3rd and 12. If you can hold them to 3 here, this would be the win of all wins to give the Jets almost an immediate red zone opportunity. And hold them to 3 would be a big win for this defense, which has played some great football. And that's a great deflection there because that is going to be, sit in the hole right there for Breece Hall, gain about 5 or 6 yards. And, make it a 3rd and manageable for your quarterback. 3rd and 12 from the New Orleans 16. See what happens here. Brady Cook takes a snap. He's looking. He's going to throw it underneath to Williams, and that is going to be short, and that is going to be a stand there for the Saints defense. What a job by the Saints defense. And we'll see now what the Jets decide to do, and they're going to go with the field goal. So 4th and 8, makes sense. Take the points. Make sure you don't come empty on the turnover. So I'm for it. I'm feeling decent right there. I think holding to 3 is a win. And that's exactly what it will be as long as Nick Folk doesn't miss a 29-yard attempt. The kick is up, and it is good. So Jets take an early 3-0 lead on New Orleans. I will say in this particular situation, given what happened on that opening drive, I will take that as a win for the Saints defense. Saints offense, we talked about slow starts, and it's funny how it works. 1st and 10. Was Tyler Shuck to Chris Olave, ends up being incomplete. Had you hit that, that's a huge gain. And then the next play is like a 9-yard gain from Taysom Hill, and he fumbles right towards the end of it. And again, just trying to figure those things out. It's frustrating. This should be the game where you feel like you can do it. And yet, it just really, we'll see if that ends up happening. But, we go back a week ago, the Jets gave up 48 to the Jaguars. Now, I know they fired defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, and I'd imagine when something like that happens, everyone feels like, what, we're kind of on notice, and we have to be better. And I think that's, you'll probably get an inspired performance from this Jets defense. But the Saints just still have more than enough to get the ball moving, and hopefully they do on this next drive. All right, I see you guys talking about the jersey. Let's break it down. We do look clean in these unis. Fred says, am I the only one that thinks these khaki jerseys look better with the khaki pants than the black ones? Honestly, Fred, I got to let this game play out a little bit more before I make a decision on it. The reason I say that is there's so many times the Saints have tried different combinations. I'm like, I can't stand this. And then it grows on me. And, I think of the black helmets. I used to hate the black helmets because I didn't like that they had the fleur-de-lis in the back. And I just thought if you took that away and it was just like a black helmet with the Saints logo on the side, I thought it would look a little bit better. Now I look at the black helmets and I'm like, I kind of like them. I think they're really good. So, my initial thought was, I don't care for these khaki jerseys at all. And I would not be surprised by halftime. I'm going, hey guys, I'm a fan of these jerseys. So we'll see. Hold them through 3 here, and it's a win. It is. It absolutely is. Watch Taysom be in on the next snap. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I think New Orleans, they're kind of asking for it if you go right back to Taysom. If Estime doesn't get 60% of the carries this game, we're not evaluating players properly. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, you're talking about a guy who is just 22 years old, former day 3 pick, I believe it was. I know he bounced around with Denver. I think Philly maybe, but I think Estime is a guy that did enough last week. I think in the screen game, he was really good, which was awesome. That I remember that second down screen call on the final drive really opened things up for the offense. But again, like I said, running back in his early 20s, let's see what he can do. And, maybe the answer is he can't do much, but let's get the answer on that. Whereas Taysom, we've gotten the answer this season. He can't do much at all. I really think we need a new gold. We need a new gold gold for our throwback in our regular helmets and unis. I'm tired of the khaki. Well, I say this, guys. I'm always a fan of the Reebok gold that the Saints had, with Breeze, and obviously those jerseys hold a little bit more weight because you remember them winning Super Bowl in it and whatnot. But yeah, I'm a big fan of those. Saints are going to get pretty good field position to start this drive because of that kickoff infraction. So we'll see if that ends up being something they could take advantage of. 1st and 10. Chuck's going to hand it off to Estime. Estime is going to cut to the left, and he is going to gain about 6 yards there. So really good first run from Audric Estime on first down for New Orleans. And I think that is so important for them to do. And hopefully they can kind of keep that up. What is Clyde Edwards-Helaire up to? Would be good to still have Velus Jones instead of relying on Hill at running back this season. Saints are going with another run here. Going to gain about 3. So 3rd and short coming up. Hopefully you're going to kind of get a first down here, keep the chains moving. But so far, so good for Audric Estime, which kind of makes you feel like, man, why didn't you just let him roll out? Those Reebok jerseys were clean. I love the Reebok jerseys. Those are my favorites. I think, in my opinion, I think Nike's kind of regressed when it comes to the uniforms they put out there. 3rd and short for New Orleans. They're going to hand it off to Taysom Hill, and Taysom Hill is going to get the first down on the second lunge. But good Lord, man. Good Lord. That looked like it was about to be stuffed, and I was about to say, let's just keep him on the bench for the rest of the game. Man, second effort, though. Gets the job done. Thank God he broke through that tackle, because right there he's short, and then he's able to kind of just duck under and get the first. 1st and 10. They take the snap. Shuck's going to throw it low, and it is going to be caught. And that's a really nice catch from Chris Olave because that's a low throw. You live with it, though. I mean, your receiver's not taking a hit. Still about a 6-yard gain. So nice first down play, at least yardage-wise, but a low throw there from Shuck to Olave. 2nd and 4 coming up. Just under 9 minutes in the first quarter. Saints are at the Jets. Where are we at? The 44? 2nd and 10. Shuck and shotgun takes the snap. He's looking left. He's going to throw it to Olave, and Olave is going to get the first down. Another catch for number 12. I think, Olave, he's had such an interesting season. He's obviously back to being close to a 1,000-yard receiver. He's going to get there as long as he stays healthy. Last week was one of those games where, he's pretty much a disappearing act all game, and he takes over the fourth quarter, and it makes you realize that, not every wide receiver is going to be that dominant guy. You just have to end up living with the highs and lows. And I think there's been more highs than lows for him this season. Shuck's going to roll out on 1st and 10. He's going to get around the defense. He's going to look, and he's going to throw it away. And I'm going to be quite honest. I take that as a win. I think anytime your rookie quarterback is living to see another down and doesn't make a throw across his body, which it looked like he was considering for a second there, absolutely going to take that as a win. Why isn't the game on television today? It should be on CBS. I don't know what markets it's in, though. I apologize for that part. I don't know which markets it might be on. It might not be on. Wish you could stream the game while you're calling it. I know. I wish, Joshua, I know that would end up being, it'd get taken down, though. So This is the best we can do. 2nd and 10. Shuck takes a snap on empty. He's going to throw it over the middle to Juwan Johnson. Should be about a 4-yard gain. 3rd and 6 coming up for the New Orleans Saints. They're going to be in Jets territory here. Definitely in field goal range, but obviously you want to keep this drive going. You don't want to settle for 3 here. 3rd and 5. Shuck takes the snap. He's looking over the middle of the field. He's going to throw it. It's a little bit late, but it's going to end up being caught by Juwan Johnson, and the Saints get the first down. Really, really nice catch over the middle of the field by Juwan, who is quietly having the best season of his career by a wide margin. Oh my God, that just got in there. 1st and 10. They're going to go play action. Shuck's rolling to the left. He's going to throw this one deep, and that should be PI. I thought the corner got there earlier, but they're going to say no. Let's get a replay there. The throw was to Taysom. I like the rollout. I like the decision there. See if you get an aggressive defense to bite. But 2nd and 10 now from just out of red zone range. Should be inside the Jets 30. Like this drive, let's get 7. Absolutely. I mean, I think you have to. Nice catch by JJ. Yeah, Juwan's been awesome. Juwan's been awesome last couple weeks. I hate to say it, but he's been good. So 2nd and 10 from the New York 23. You're going to put Pettis in motion. Estime is going to roll to the left. It's going to be a throw low, so 3rd and 10 coming up. He was the intended receiver. Shuck looked a little rushed there. I'd like to see if his feet were set. He was kind of backpedaling when he made the throw. Just hopped in, and my God, what the hell is this uniform combination? Let's see the footwork here from Shuck. Footwork I think was fine. I think he just rushed the throw because he's about to get hit. That's all it was to it. But yeah, I don't know about the uniform combination, guys. It's a little unsettling. 3rd and 10. Olave's going to motion from right to left. Shuck takes the snap. He's under pressure a little bit. He's going to throw over the middle of the field to Mason Tipton, but he is tackled at the Jets 17. So the Saints are short of the first down marker. They're going to have to either decide to go for it or kick the field goal. My guess is the kicking team will come on. Let's see what Kellen Moore decides to do. It looks like he has him. I think that throw's a little behind him, or the throw's not terrible, but he had to slow up a little bit. I think that makes the difference. So Saints are going to go for a field goal here to try and tie it up. Charlie Smith got a 3-year deal this past week in New Orleans. Been quite the succession story for him. Let's see if he can convert here, a 35-yard attempt. Kick is up, and it is good. Just sneaks inside the upright. So Charlie Smith making us sweat it just a little bit, but it is 3-3. So the Saints are right back in this game, and we are tied. And now you just hope your defense put yourself in a good spot. The difference in Juwan with Shuck starting than with Rattler starting is striking. Not saying Rattler was doing anything wrong, but his connection with Shuck seems to be stronger. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I know, look, you could argue the ball's just in a better spot. Maybe that's what it is. But I don't know. Juwan's been good. And you know what? Juwan's cut down on the mental mistakes. I think that's a big thing about Juwan Johnson is I don't think he's a bad football player. And I think that's where my frustration is. If I thought Juwan Johnson was a bad football player, I probably wouldn't get as angry as I do when he makes mistakes. I think somewhere in there is a good football player. And it's just Juwan has these mental lapses sometimes that cost him. That being said, we're going to end up looking at Juwan Johnson's season and going, man, he's going to finish with 700 plus receiving yards, which will be the highest mark of his career. He's already had 12 more catches this season, 14 more catches if we add today's 2. Than he had at any point in his career. His highest 50 is at 64 right now. Yeah, the touchdown number is going to be low. It's at 3 at the moment. And yes, I see your comment, Yahtzee. I don't know if I would pay Juwan $10 million a year, right? I don't. But if I tell you Juwan Johnson's going to be a 700-yard tight end over the course of that contract, it's a lot more palpable. I don't think it could be as outraged. Now, I want him to cut down on the mental mistakes, and he's done that. So I think, I don't know. I'm indifferent about the Juwan contract. In the moment, I was like, man, this is so stupid. In the beginning of the season, I was like, man, this is so stupid. And I still don't know if I trust Juwan, and I get your point. Like, I think you're absolutely right about that. But I also want to be fair. If I'm gonna knock him when he makes mistakes, I want to give him credit when he's been consistent. And I think he's been consistent so far. Again, still a contract that he's going to have to earn. But I think for this season, he's come close to earning it, or you can make the argument has earned it. We've officially entered the part of the season where if you don't pay attention to the transaction wire, you start asking yourself, who the F is that guy? I'm not going to lie, guys. I've had to slow down a couple of times today where I'm looking at the field. I'm like, well, let's get the number, and then let my brain process into who it is. And that's kind of where we're at. I mean, look at the offense right now. Audric Estime is your running back. Mason Tipton, Kevin Austin are at receiver. A lot going on. So that's just kind of the state of the Saints at the moment. And truthfully, 2 games left after this, you could live with it. But this offseason, they got to address these needs. And it's funny, we say it every year. It's like, well, you're an injury away from like having a who's who of practice squad players as your skill players. And the Saints are kind of back in that spot again. Kevin Austin should have had his shot. He's always been super solid in the preseason. I like Kevin Austin. He's awesome. Chris finally saying Estime right. I know. Good God. I butchered his name for like 2 straight weeks. I apologize to Audric, but yeah, Estime. And I won't mess it up anymore. Hopefully not. Did you watch Sentimental Value yet, Chris? I did. I thought it was a fantastic movie. It's one of my 3 favorite movies of the year. 3 or 4. 3 favorite movies of the year. So I thought it was awesome. I actually drove a far distance to go see it because it wasn't playing at my local theater. And I really, really wanted to watch it. I thought it looked fantastic, and it was fantastic. So I enjoyed the hell out of it. Kind of looks like a preseason roster. It does. I mean, look, this is going to have a preseason vibe to it anyway. You look at the Jets, they're rolling Brady Cook out at quarterback. So it's like, it definitely has a preseason feel to it. All the more reason, though, to feel like, hey, win this game, get to 3 in a row, and feel like you're building something with your rookie class. 1st and 10, Jets are going to have Breece Hall roll out to the right. They're going to throw it to him, and he's going to pick up a first down. Really hard running there from Breece Hall, one of the few premier players that's out there at the moment for the Jets. Did you see the Spider-Man trailer that got leaked this week? I did. What a week it was, by the way. So quick rant away from the Saints. I'll get back to them in a sec. What a week for movies. I saw like 3 or 4 different movies this week at the theaters. I went to go see Avatar, and everyone's like, oh, the Doomsday teaser is going to play. And I'm like, all right. So all the trailers play and it didn't go on yet. I'm like, yo, what the hell? Like, why was I bamboozled? I went to the bathroom, came back, and right before the movie started, they played it. And I'm like, okay. It was kind of like a delayed teaser. But I did see the Spider-Man leak. I'd imagine that's going to end up dropping within the next month or so because the movie comes out, I believe, in July. So I did see the leak, though. You guys know I like my superhero-related stuff. So, man, our DBs suck at tackling. Yeah, I think it's like a league-wide problem, to be quite honest, but it's not ideal for sure. Let's kind of take a quick look around the league, see if there's any scores that stand out. Nothing really at the moment. 2nd and 4 from the Jets 36. They're going to toss it to Breece Hall, and Breece Hall is going to get, I think, kind of stuff short of the line. We'll see where they mark it. They look like they're marking him right on the line, so that could be enough to move the chains. I thought he looked short in the moment, though. How was Avatar? So I like the first 2 Avatar movies a lot. I thought this one was kind of a chore to get through at times. It felt like a direct sequel to The Way of Water, like almost like a part 2 of The Way of Water. And my biggest gripe was, let's get through this 3rd down play and I'll get to it. Williams going to move in motion. They're going to go with a QB sneak. Oh, they're easily going to pick that one up. So they'll get it moving. There is a flag, though. We'll see if the Jets maybe moved early or if maybe the Saints were off. We'll see what they say. But, okay, so for Avatar, my gripe. They introduced a really cool villain. I thought she was awesome. And then in the 3rd act, I felt like she was sidelined. And I was kind of disappointed by that. I'm kind of tired over Stephen Lang's character. I just think, he was great the first 2 movies. It's just repetitive at this point. So that's kind of where I'm at. I thought we drafted Aaron Glenn. He must have didn't do anything with the Jets. I mean, Aaron Glenn's considered like a Jets fan favorite. So Stutzman has this old school middle linebacker look to him. I wonder if he's more athletic than he looks. He seems to flash. He definitely seems, by the way, that's a chop block on the Jets. So that's a huge penalty on 3rd down there. Yeah, Stutzman's made plays. He's made plays when he's in there. I actually wish they play him a little bit more because I think the Saints have to be in this youth movement era for them. And they've played a lot of guys. But I'd like to see them get a little bit more there. I have not yet seen it. I'm trying to see it at the end of this month. but I have not seen it. It looks fantastic though, and I love his movies, so that's definitely high on my radar for sure. 3rd and 16 from the Jets 25 in the shotgun. Let's see if the Saints can get off the field here. 3rd and long was a problem last week against the Panthers. Cook takes a snap. He's got a lot of time to throw. He's going to throw underneath, and it is going to be well short of the first down marker. Jets will most likely punt away here. Defense doing his job for sure. What are your top 5 movies of 2025? So my favorite movie so far is probably, for now, is One Battle After Another still. I think about like that scene going over the hills with the car. I think about it like one time a day. I love that movie. Sentimental Value's up there for me. Sinners was fantastic. Really liked the new Knives Out. I saw that one at like a very small theater, and it was a really cool experience. And then my 5th one, I don't know if it's that good, but I love nonstop thrills and action. I'll go F1, but I don't think F1's in that class. But the first 4, I think, to me, One Battle After Another, Sinners. Let me let Pettis finish this punt. He's gonna go out of bounds. Sinners, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Wake Up Dead Man. Those to me were like my 4 favorites by a mile. But I'll throw F1 as my 5th. I love that we're getting movie questions in here as we go through timeout here and we get ready for the first quarter to resume. Y'all don't sleep on Zootopia 2. So that was one of the movies I saw this past week, and I was sleeping on it. I was like, dude, I'm so tired of Disney sequels. And it was very good. I thought it was a fun time at the movies, so I got to give them credit for that. Saw an early screening of No Other Choice last night, top 4 this year. See, there's 2 movies for me that I think are going to maybe sneak into my top 4. That might be one of them. And then I think Marty Supreme. So one of those, those are the only 2 movies I have left to watch this year that I'm really, really excited about. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it, because I think it's going to be great. It looks great. Varang needed more screen time. She did. I thought she was captivating on screen. I was like, man, this is such an awesome villain. And then just not enough there in that 3rd act. Chris, I didn't know you were a cinephile. I love my movies, man. I love my movies. I try to go to the movies like 2 or 3 times a week if I have time. It usually ends up being like 2, but I love going. Did you enjoy Superman? I loved Superman. I thought Superman was great. I thought Superman was really, really great. And it's definitely got its flaws, but every time, and I've watched it like 3 times already, I felt good coming out of it. So that's what I would say. Did you like Fantastic Four? I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. I loved the first half. The second half, to me, I just thought they played it really safe with that 3rd act. And I don't know. I think that's my big problem with Marvel movies lately. I think they're afraid to take a huge swing at the end of their films. Maybe that'll change, and I think it's going to have to change with their new one. But yeah. See any horror movies? I'm not going to count Sinners as horror, so no. But Weapons, I enjoyed a lot. Weapons is in my top 10 easily. 28 Years Later, I thought was good at times, but I also was a little indifferent with it. Try to think what other movies. I saw The Strangers Chapter 2. I thought that was terrible. I thought it was really bad. Think what other horror movies I've watched. I'm missing that Together movie because I'm not a body horror guy. But Weapons was probably, if we're just going like true horror, I guess if Weapons counts, I would go that. I had a blast with Weapons. Thought it was like really hilarious. Odyssey will be must watch. Yeah, that looks sensational. Actually, a lot of movies next year from a lot of movies next year look great. I mean, that looks awesome. You guys know I love Dune, so Dune Part 3, I'll be there. But yeah. What side of the argument are you on? Group of 5 belong in the playoffs or not? I don't know, because here's the problem, right? The people that are crapping on the group of 5 yesterday, like, oh, Tulane didn't belong. I sat there at noon and I watched Miami and Texas A&M struggle to score the football, and I did not find that fun to watch at all. So I don't know. I think it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because the group of 5 is going to go in and they're going to probably lose every single time. But at the other hand, it's like, all right, you put these other teams in there, they're probably going to get boat raced as well. Saints are going to go with a run here with Audric Estime on first down, just going to be a 1-yard gain. So I don't know. Actually, I'm curious for you guys. What fence are you guys on? I know, especially with Tulane being in it yesterday, what is the solution? I would argue the solution is shorting. I know we're never going back to that, but I think they expanded it too much. I don't think there's 12 teams that can legitimately win a national championship. Saints are going to go with a throw here over the middle to Olave, huge gain. So just like that, Tyler Shuck kind of woke me up a little bit from that trance. First and 10 coming up. Saints are in Jets territory. That was a dart. That was a dart over the middle of the field. Just look at that. Nice little RPO for you. Make it happen. First and 10. Shuck's going to drop back. He's going to throw over the middle of the field to Olave, and it is going to be a short gain. Olave is already getting quick work. I believe that's his 4th catch of the afternoon. Man, that's he ripped that one. He really ripped that one. Biggest complaint with Avatar is the story keeps repeating itself in terms of the human Na'vi conflict. I know, it's just I'm not kidding, guys. The third act started, and I was like, this is the Way of Water's third act. It's the same exact thing. Got 2nd and 7 coming up. They're going to go with a little bit of a flip to Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's going to pick up the first down, and then some, and he's going to hold on to the football. He gets to the 25 of the Jets. The Saints are in business. That was nice. As Al Michaels likes to say, that's a little razzle-dazzle for you. Get this user out of here. Hopefully that'll clear up the chat for you guys. Need to have group of 5 playoff instead of having the G5 system. Having the G5 get blown out every year with the Power 5 teams. I think that might be fair. Would the G5 feel like it's unfair to them, though, to have that and keep them out? I don't know. But I don't think that's a bad alternative. First and 10 from the Jets 25. Olave's in the backfield. They're going to motion him to the left. It's going to be a run from Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is going to pick up about 4 yards. 2nd down coming up. We're just approaching a minute in this 4th quarter. Saints offense has looked pretty good so far rolling on this drive. Olave seems like he's done a much better job protecting his head this season. Hope we can keep him on a wide receiver a 2 type deal. Yeah, I think he's done a really good job. I'm not saying he has to be like this player, but one thing Tyler Lockett's done over the course of his career is make sure he minimizes the amount of times he gets hit. And he does a really, really good job of it. I wouldn't mind if Olave ends up doing the same thing. I think that, that why take unnecessary contact? Saints are going to go with a run here by Hull. He's going to gain a yard. So 3rd and 5 coming up, and it's probably not going to be snapped now. So we're probably going to go into the 2nd quarter with a 3-3 game, and the Saints in position here on a 3rd down to possibly get a 10-3 lead here. We'll see what happens. But so far, so good. On another note, Devin Achane is so good for Miami. We need a runner like that to take the pressure off Shuck. I think that Saints are lining up like they're going to go for it. I don't think they will, but let's see. Maybe they'll fool me. Looks like nothing. Yep. So we're going into the 2nd quarter. I think a running back would open up this offense in ways that we haven't seen with Kellen Moore. And I think that's probably the biggest problem right now for Kellen Moore. And I don't mean it as a bad thing, but I think it is the truth. You could say like there's play calling issues with Kellen Moore. I don't think that's the case today so far. I think he's been really, really good so far in this 1st quarter. But I think a lot of what Kellen Moore needs to do and wants to do is predicated off having a good run game. But the reality is the Saints don't have the guard play to get that done, and they don't have the running backs to get that done. And you look around the league, there are running backs that could take it from the 20 to the house at any moment. Achane's a good example. Jahmyr Gibbs is the perfect example. And I'm not saying there aren't 32 Jahmyr Gibbs, so you're not going to get one of those. But this offense is in dire need of a running back upgrade. And I think if they can do that, and you have that explosive player that can be, as I like to call it, a home run hitter for your offense, it makes life a lot easier for Tyler Shuck and would open up a lot of things for Kellen Moore, what he wants to do. So I agree with you guys. I think that would be awesome if they could do that. I actually didn't see that podcast with Shuck. Was it good? I'll check it out then if that's the case. Weapons was dope. Love the movement sketch comedians turned horror directors. I think they've done a great job. I mean, the end scene with the kids chasing is just awesome. Jordan Peele with Get Out and Nope. Kreger with Barbarian and Weapons. I liked Hard Eyes. I don't know if that's a controversial take, but I had a good time with that one at the theater. Would you rather us draft Love or pay Breece Hall? I think honestly, it depends where they are. It's tough. I'll say this though: the running back class for free agents is very good. I'm going to bring it up real quick. So let's talk about that because the Saints are going to need a back. There's no question about it. And here are some of the names that are going to be available in free agency. And I'll mention good ones. I won't mention bad ones. Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams, Rico Dowdle, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, although he is a little injury prone, obviously. Those are the main names, in my opinion. Those are the ones that really, really stand out. And, I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints pursue a Rico Dowdle or even like a Travis Etienne or something like that. Now, Etienne's probably going to be a little bit more expensive market value-wise. We'll see where the Saints decide to go. I think there's going to be options if they want to go that route. So I think it depends where they're picking. Because if I could have Carnell Tate and a free agent running back or Jeremiah Love and a free agent wide receiver, I think I'd rather have Carnell Tate and the free agent running back, if that kind of answers your question. I know I kind of danced around it a little bit, but I wouldn't mind if the Saints paid Breece Hall, though. I don't want to get that mistaken. I think Breece Hall's a really good football player, and if the Saints decide, hey, he is the guy that Kellen Moore wants in his offense, I'd be all for it. 3rd and 6 here. They're going to motion Juwan Johnson out wide. Chuck takes a snap. He's pressured, and he is sacked, so it's going to be a pretty big loss of yards, and the Saints are going to have to settle for a field goal there. So Jets defense did their job on that one, and we're going to continue this kind of field goal fest. Is that what we want to call it, I guess? I think that's what we'll call it for now. Imagine if the Saints offense had the running back room that Oregon has. Yeah, look, if the Saints offense had any semblance of a lethal running back room, I think they'd be in a good spot. 49-yard attempt from Charlie Smith. Let's see if he can go 2 for 2 on the day. The snap is there. The kick is up, and the kick is good right down the middle from Charlie Smith. Awesome job there from him. So at least some confidence, and I want to say that for Charlie Smith, right? He just got a 3-year deal. I think it's a big confidence builder every time he goes up there and makes his kicks. So nice to see Charlie Smith do his job. Riveting stuff so far. Sorry, Rob. I mean, what are we supposed to do? It's kind of where we're at, man. What's your prediction on who's going to win this game? I think the Saints will win. I think the reason I'll say that is while the Jets defense has been really good so far this year, today, not this year. They've been bad this year, but today they've been good. I think that the Saints defense is probably more likely to make that game-changing play. That's just kind of my gut feeling at the moment. So that's who I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the Saints winning this one. Obviously, it hasn't been pretty at all right now, but maybe things will switch up and we'll get some excitement going on here. Do you think Love is a Gibbs type runner? I don't. I do think that Jeremiah Love is a really good player though, and I do think Jeremiah Love, while he doesn't have the on tape speed that you see with Jahmyr Gibbs, we did a video on it, so you guys can go back and check if you want it. We did it 2 or 3 days ago. And there are big runs there. And a lot of it is because in those kind of tight areas where defenders are kind of converging on him, he's got that short area quickness to kind of get through the hole. And then you could see him take it. I mean, he had a 98-yard touchdown run against Indiana in the playoff last year. So I think he's got that ability. I just don't think he's a Jahmyr Gibbs type. I think he's a clear-cut RB1, though. And I think he's going to be a really good back in this league as long as he lands in the right spot. We need a starting running back for next year. Bad. They do. And like I said, guys, I think there's going to be options. I think the wide receiver, the free agent class, is really good. I think the running back class for this draft is really good as well. We talked about Rico Dowdle and Javonte Williams and all those guys. You look around at this year's draft class, and outside of Jeremiah Love, his teammate in Price is really good. I think both the running backs on Penn State, Nick Singleton and again, Katron Allen, are really good players as well. So I think there's an opportunity to get yourself a really quality back, whether it's through free agency or the draft. And I think it's important the Saints do that. Hill Mendoza says, I'm feeling Charlie Smith, 4+ field goals for the day. I mean, I think we're heading there. I mean, we're halfway home. So halfway home. Why'd I put estimate anytime touchdown? I have estimate receiving yards. So let's hope that he gets a screen pass for 12, 13 yards, I think would be his over. So we'll see. I feel like you can find a solid running back in the later round. I mean, Kyle Monungai for Chicago was undrafted. Was he undrafted? Why did I think he was 7th round? I thought he was 7th round. I could be wrong. But Monungai's been awesome. Now, I think that's a lot also scheme-based. I think Ben Johnson's done a really, really good job. But, yeah, I think the value is always going to be there, and I do agree with you. That's the knock on going with a running back so early is if you scout the position correctly, you can get one later on as Charlie Smith kicks the hell out of that ball all the way to the back of the end zone. Guy's got a boot. What would it cost for Breece Hall? What is the biggest need in your opinion? The running back market always changes. I don't think Breece Hall is good enough to warrant what some running backs have got lately. I think of like Saquon and what he got. Like, he's not in that class, so you don't worry about that. But Breece Hall is a really good player. He's going to have over 1,000 rushing yards this year behind a really bad Jets offense. And I don't know what the contract value will be. I could see what the projection will be, but I think he's gonna get paid a decent bit. I would not be surprised if he gets like a 3-year, $30-something million deal. 1st and 10 for the Jets. They're going to go with a run here, and they're going to pick up about 5, let's call it 5 yards there, make it a 2nd and 5 coming up. Keep asking Santa for Rico. Need that 2-pump celebration in my life. I think Rico would be pretty awesome. I think he'd be pretty awesome for this team. Should the Saints look at signing Breece or Kenneth Walker if they don't draft one? I think they should definitely look at a running back, whether it's one of those two, whether it is Rico Dowdle, whether it is Javonte. We got a flag on the field here, so see what it ends up being. And it's going to be unnecessary roughness on Alontae Taylor, so not great. Not great at all. Excluding the first round, how would you be comfortable drafting Nick Harbor? I'll say this about Nick Harbor. I think he's a big play waiting to happen. And I literally before was like talking about how the Saints need guys that could take it from point A to point B in, a given amount of time. Probably though, right now, I think he's like a late day 2, day 3 type pick. Day 3 is probably where I feel a little bit more comfortable because I still have questions about Nick Harbor's route running, but he is an explosive playmaker. And I think he'd be really fun to watch on the Saints if that's where they choose to go. So can't knock him for that. So Jets have 1st and 10 in Saints territory. They're going to go with play action. Brady Cook's going to step up. He's going to throw it to his option on the outside, and it's going to end up being a huge gain for the Jets. They are well in Saints territory now. They're going to be threatening here. So let's see if the Saints defense can kind of put together a stop there. That penalty really put them in a rough spot. And again, against a bad team, you don't want to make mistakes like that. And Alontae Taylor did just that. So Isaiah Davis with a big, big reception. They're going to go with a run now, and Davis is going to pick up 2 yards. So 2nd and 8 coming up. Let's see if the Saints defense can do what they did before, hold them to a field goal. Again, in a game like this, if you could stifle that Jets offense, you'll be in a good spot at least. Where do you rank Ben Johnson in terms of best coaches in the league already? I mean, this season he's been a top 10 coach. I don't know if I'd rank him in the top 10 yet, but he's been a top 10 coach this season. I think my favorite coaches in the league are probably Shanahan and McVay in terms of who I think are the best coaches. Andy Reid's still a damn good coach. I know this has been a really rough season for him, but he's still a really good coach. I think Kevin O'Connell's still a good coach despite having a rough season. Matt LaFleur is obviously a really, really good coach. 2nd and 8. They're going to throw that. That thing is swatted away. Oh, my God. What a play by Justin Reid. Looking like Dikembe Mutombo over there, swatting that football about 20 yards down the field. Wow. That is great recognition. Great recognition from Justin Reid. Holy crap, that was awesome. So 3rd and long, coming up for the Jets. Would you be okay with Kareem Hunt next year if he's available on a team-friendly deal? I mean, sure, but I think it makes sense for him to probably go back to Kansas City at this stage in his career. There is familiarity. He's not going to get paid a lot. But yeah, I mean, I still think Kareem Hunt's an okay player. 3rd and 8 coming up. The Jets are at the Saints 18. See if Chase Young with this defense can make a big play here. He's going to throw it short underneath. Oh, that could have been intercepted. It ends up being incomplete. So the Saints defense do their job in terms of bend but don't break. And they force another field goal. But man, that one could have gone the other way. Kool-Aid McKinstry knows it, but that's a good play by Kool-Aid. So you'll take it. You will take the stop every single time it's there. You'll take it. Rico would be a great fit for the city and bringing back those good vibes in the locker room. I think it'd be pretty cool, man. Warner's just in space, clueless. Yeah, look, at some point, I'd like to see them get a little bit more Danny Stutzman on the field. Here comes Nick Folk's 36-yard attempt. The kick is up, and it is good. So 6-6 in New Orleans right now. If you love field goals, this is the game for you. So I'm guessing no one's having a good time when it comes to this field goal fest that we got going on. So, yeah, let's see if the Saints offense could get something rolling here, because right now, not much going on. They've had their opportunities, though. It's just, stalling in key spots. Going to take a quick look around the league. Bucks have a lead right now over Carolina. The winner of that game will be in the driver's seat to go get the number 1 spot in the NFC South, And I believe that the Panthers and Bucks play at the end of the season as well. So even if the winner, even whoever wins today, technically speaking, it's not going to be enough. Like the winner of today is not going to win the division. They'll be in the driver's seat, but they'll still have more work to do. This is why this game is only shown in Louisiana and parts of New York. Field goal battle, catch the fever. Today feels like the day we get in the win column with the black helmets. Are they still winless with the black helmets and I just haven't realized? Shame on me. Shame on me that I should have realized that, but wow. Chris, go grab a helmet and pads. Need you right now as a DB. I think the DBs will be just fine. Do you think if the Saints started Shuck at the beginning, the Saints could win the division? I think we could have. I mean, that's a great question. So here's the question that I'll have for you guys. Which games do you think they would have won had they started them from the beginning? Cardinals, maybe. Niners, probably not. Seahawks, no. So here are the games maybe there would have been a difference. I'd say Cardinals. Bears, because that was a rough game for Rattler. He had 3 interceptions and I believe a fumble. So that one's maybe 2. Maybe the first time around against the Bucks, so maybe 3. Again, these are maybes. They weren't going to beat the Rams, and Shuck played that one anyway. Patriots, Rattler played, but Rattler played really well that game, so I don't want to, dock him for that. So I don't know. I think you're probably looking at the Bears game, the Cardinals game, maybe the Bills. I see, Leroy, you mentioned the Bills. That's possible. The Bills didn't look that good that game. They were sloppy. You're right about that. Those are maybes. I will say this, and this is why I think, the end of the season is important for the Saints. If you look around the NFC South, do you see a team right now that you feel like is trending enough where they will dominate the division for years to come? Because I don't see that personally. I don't think that the Panthers are that team. I don't think the Bucks are that team. So yeah, that's where I'm kind of at. I think you want to win these games and get some confidence. Pettis now with the kickoff return, he's going backwards at this point. And he gets thrown down at the 20. I don't know what the hell Dante Pettis is doing, but it ain't anything good. But yeah, so I think this is why games like today and just the end of the season is important. If the Saints walk away feeling like, hey, we got our franchise guy, or at least we have our quarterback for 2026, and we'll pause it on the franchise guy. Why can't the Saints contend next year in the NFC South? And I'm not saying contend big picture. I think the Saints have a long way to go. You got to walk before you can run. I think that the NFC South is still a mess. So why can't they compete in this really bad division? That's just kind of where I'm at. So do I think they would have won this year if they started Shuck? I don't know. Do I think that they have a shot next year? I do. I really do. 1st and 10. Saints are going to start from their own 21. They're going to go with a pitch to Hull. He's going to cut back and he's going to gain only a yard. 2nd and 9 coming up. Run game is still somewhat non-existent. I think Kellen was figuring out the offense no matter who was in at quarterback. If Kellen had the offense humming at the beginning with Rattler's quarterback, then what would be the discussion? I think that's fair. And I think that's always kind of been the thing. Rattler, as long as he played well enough, Shuck was going to stay on the bench. The 6 turnovers in 6 quarters kind of did him in, and then compound that with the losing, and the door kind of jarred open. 2nd and 9 for the Saints. They're going to be at their own 22. Hull in the backfield with Shuck. He's going to take the snap. He's going to look to his right. He's going to throw that one, and he's going to hit shocker, Chris Olave, 1st down New Orleans. Olave having himself an awesome start to this game. It's at the point where just every throw just seems to be going Olave's way. And you know what? Who could blame him? Who could blame him? Saints are going to throw this one underneath Jawan. Jawan's going to pick up about 4 yards. So 2nd and 6 coming up for the Saints. Olave's eating today. He is big time, man. Big time. Honestly, how many more pieces do the Panthers need to be relevant again, like on a year-to-year basis? I mean, I don't know if I trust their quarterback, so that's the thing where it's tough. 2nd and 6. Shuck's looking to the left. He's now going to look to the right. He's going to roll out. He's going to run, and he's going to slide, gain about 3 yards. So 3rd and short coming up. Shuck making sure he doesn't get hurt there. So yeah, guys, with the Panthers, I just think that, I don't trust their quarterback enough. I don't trust their quarterback enough to feel like don't get me wrong, Ted McMillan, awesome draft pick for them. I think their running back room has been pretty good so far. Obviously, J.C. Horn is a premier corner, but I just don't know. Saints are short there. 4th and 1. This has to be a go for it situation. I don't think you're punting it here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really don't think this should be a punt situation. See what the Saints decide to do here. 13 seconds on the play clock, 4th and 1, in your own territory. Shuck empty. Wow. Shuck empty out of the shotgun. Taysom Hill now looks like he might take the snap. He's going to, and he gets stuffed. Take these plays out of the playbook. Take these plays out of the playbook. Oh my goodness, man. This infatuation with using Taysom Hill. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't. I don't get it. I'm never going to get it. I apologize to Taysom Hill if it sounds messed up, but he's not good. And this just, to me, is really just it's pissing me the hell off, quite frankly. Carolina can't keep rolling with Young. He's just not good. I agree. When you stop talking, I keep thinking you're frozen because it's so silent and you stop moving completely. All right, so truth be told, if I stop talking and I'm a little frozen, it's because I'm tweeting and I'm really bad at multitasking. I have to get better at that. Sometimes, though, I'll go to tweet, and if I'm talking to you guys, then I end up, like, tweeting what I was saying, and that's not what I was going for. And just ends up being a mess. So I got to get better at multitasking. I think that's going to be my objective for the 2026 season. I love what Hill has been for the Saints, but I'm kind of over the Hill experience. Yeah, I think, like, honest to God, when has it worked this season? When has it worked? I don't have a memory this season where I felt like, oh, that was an awesome Taysom play. And I've dozens that I can recall over the years. But right now, I really just don't get it. I don't get it. Do you think AK has played his last game as a Saint? I think it's a conversation that we might have to have. I think that's something we should discuss. Like there's a possibility that AK's probably done. I mean, at least from a talent standpoint, a production standpoint, it seems like we're getting there, which sucks to say, and it breaks my heart. But what has AK kind of done? Not much. So we'll see. But I think that's kind of where I'm at. It's funny that J.C. Horn looks like Patrick Robinson when he plays the Saints, always giving up that big play. Yeah, I think Olave's kind of had his number. I think that's what it comes down to. J.C. Horn's obviously a really great player, but Olave's just been awesome. And even today, Saints offense has been a mess so far, but the one thing that has worked is Chris Olave's been really good. 4 catches for 49 yards. He needs 104 today to have 1,000 yards for the season. So my math serves me correctly. He's 55 away from getting that done. Can you show the game? I can. I'll get kicked off here if I do. So I apologize, guys. I'll try my best to keep you updated on the yardage and down and distance, but I can't show the game for legal purposes. They have to mix up the play calls. No run every single time he's taking the snaps. I know it is predictable, and I think that snap was pretty predictable. You got Shuck and empty out of the shotgun on a 4th and 1, and Taysom's in motion. And the minute Taysom's kind of in motion, kind of zigs back to under center. What do you think he's going to do? He's obviously going to take the snap, and it obviously becomes kind of like a QB sneak. And I don't know. I just don't love it. And now the Jets are going to start from the Saints 45. So it's just tough. They're going to go with a run here, and it is going to be, wow, that's a really nice job. Breece Hall gaining positive yards. So he gains 3 yards there. Chase Young tangled up. Jets in from DC was fired up. Goddamn. So at least the Jets and Saints, look, I know both of them had rough seasons. Clearly, there shall be no tanking on either side in this one. What about Kendrick? Do you keep him until his contract is up? Can you even trust him? It doesn't hurt to keep him there for now, but can't trust him. And I say this as someone who likes Kendrick Miller a lot, but how can you trust him? 2nd and 6. The Jets are operating from the New Orleans 42, and they are going to get dinged for a false start. So back them up. It'll be 2nd and 11. or 2nd and 12, excuse me. That'll bring them to the 47 of New Orleans. So this just might be one of those games where if you're in the mood for offense, you're not getting any. So Jets interim DC Chris Harris getting a little bit of some love here on the broadcast with his highlights. Interception off Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl. I know someone who has an interception off Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl. He returned it for a touchdown. Pretty awesome stuff. 2nd and 12 from the Saints 47. Brady Cook's going to take the snap. He's going to dip it off to Breece Hall. That's another loss of yards. So 3rd and 14, excuse me. That's a really, really awesome job by the Saints defense there. Ridgeway making the stop. Tackle for a loss. Got to get off the field here. If the Jets are going to kick a 50-something yarder, so be it. See if Nick Folk can make it. But do not give up a first down here in this spot. You got to tighten up the screws, and let's see if they do it. Would you be interested in Najee or Travis Etienne? Both can probably get for cheap. Would say Williams, but looks like he's probably going back to Dallas. I mean, Etienne maybe. Najee Harris coming off, I think, his Achilles injury, right? I'd be a little bit nervous about that. 3rd and 14. Jets are showing empty from the Saints 49. Brady Cook's going to drop back. He's going to be under pressure. He's going to step up, and he is going to be sacked. Well, actually not sacked, but tackled at the line of scrimmage. So the Saints get the stop, and they are not going to have to worry about a field goal attempt unless Nick Folk's going to pull a 65-yarder out his ass. Saints defense did its job. Really good pressure there, but Brian Brzee got Brady Cook to step up, and then Alontae Taylor finished him off and tackled him at the 47. This defense is humming. Man. Really, really happy with the way they've played today. This is what you want. When you play an inferior offense like the Jets, this is what you need. It needs to be like this, where even with good field position, it's a struggle for them to score. So the Jets are going to punt. Pettis waving for a fair catch, and he's going to fair catch it at the 9. So Saints got a lot of work to go if they're going to move this ball down the field. Great defense performance so far. Defense been great. Staley saving the Saints. Yeah, it's a good job. Defense been awesome, guys. It's been awesome stuff. Let's try to fleece the Commanders again, see how many picks we can get for an aging player. Commanders really, what an odd strategy. And I thought it was weird when it happened, and yet like how it's played out is just really tough to see. They made the NFC Championship game in large part because their rookie quarterback elevated a bad roster. And I get that because you have the rookie quarterback, you're thinking, man, let's just go all in while we can. But you went all in, and now it's an aging roster. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. You know, you added Deebo Samuel, you added Marshawn Lattimore, Austin Eckler's obviously from last year's team, same with Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, an older player. You know, Laramie Tunsil's getting older. Oldest roster in the NFL, and, you know, they've had a lot of injuries this year, and I don't think it's a coincidence. You know, age is going to play a factor for that. I understand getting veterans to build culture, but man, so many are washed. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, even now, right? So even now with the Saints do have a lot of veterans. You don't get as aggravated this year because Cam Jordan's had a really good year. DeMario Davis has had a really good year. Now, on the flip side, Taysom Hill's been bad, and us Saints fans have been like, hey, man, let's stop using Taysom. He hasn't been worth it. So I think that it's all, you know, depends on the production you're getting. And I think for Washington, they haven't got that. For the Saints, on the flip side, their vets have, for the most part, you're 2 out of 4. Alvin, unfortunately, hasn't done anything this year. Taysom hasn't done anything. But DeMario and Cam have been good. Pettis seems like a really nice guy, but he's about as useless as my nipples. Oh, man. That's a really funny one. 9 just did a 9. All right. I'm going to have to find this, aren't I? Let's see. Where am I finding this? Was it an interception? What do we have here? I'm not seeing it. All right, let me see if I can find it. I'm always a sucker for some bad quarterback play, and I'm guessing that's what happened here. Bro, everyone knew Deebo was cooked. Yeah, and yet Commanders took him along for the ride. So we even had Cooks. I forget about Brandon Cooks. How ridiculous is that? That's how you know that was a waste. That's how you know it was a waste. I mean, I really thought that deal was weird when it happened and ended up being a waste. First and 10 from their own 9. Chuck's going to drop back. He's going to throw this over the middle of the field. It is going to be caught by Kevin Austin Jr. Paid the price right there over the middle, but that's a really nice throw. That seems to be where Shuck is most comfortable. Seems to be really comfortable throwing over the middle field. Really big gain for the Saints to start. 14-yard gain right there. They're going to be at their own 23. Shuck's going to drop back yet again. He's going to look to the right. He's going to throw this to Estime. Estime's going to have to make a man miss, and he's not. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. So no gain there. 2nd and 10. Saints stay at their own 24. But yeah, I think the one thing about Shuck so far today, and again, this has been a mediocre start so far. No big plays yet, but the throws over the middle of the field have been really, really good from him. A lot of conviction. And when he lets it rip, the arm talent's on full display, and you've kind of seen it. 2nd and 10. Estime lined up in the backfield. Shuck's going to fake the handoff. He's looking deep. He's going to throw it deep. He's going to go for Mason Tipton. It gets bobbled or broken up. Let's see what the replay is, but incomplete. That would have been a big gain for New Orleans, and Mason Tipton's going to come off the field now. 3rd and 10, still at their 24. Saints might be facing a quick punt in this spot. I was really hoping the Saints would get Steve Wilkes' defense just because, scheme-wise, has been a mess. Play calling was a mess. When you get the interim guy, and now Aaron Glenn probably has a little bit more of a hand in what's going on, probably get a little bit more of an inspired performance, and so far that's been the case. 3rd and 10. Let's see if Shuck can give the Saints some magic in this spot. Jets look like they're showing pressure off the right side. We'll see if they actually bring it. Olave in motion. Jets do bring pressure. He's going to dump it over the middle of the field. It's going to be caught by Olave. Olave is going to stop. He's going to try to fight for the first down. I think he might have got it, and they're going to mark him short. I hate that. I really hate that marker, but let's see. If you're Kellen Moore, you have a decision to make. It is 4th and inches, excuse me. Man, Olave almost had it right there. That would have been an awesome play from 12. Let's see right here, because if it's close, Saints might challenge it. The elbow's down. All right, so the elbow's down. Saints are going to punt on 4th and 1. I get it. I would have loved to see him go for it there. Quite unfortunate, because it's barely a yard. They're going to go with the fake punt, and the Saints are going to get the fake punt on a first down. All right, Kellen Moore, I take it back. Saints drive keeps it going. Kellen Moore in his bag. Hell yeah, man. All right. They got me. Love it. I love a fake punt, man. I love a fake punt. And I love that he actually did that just now, because I really was upset. That was not 4th and 1. That was like a half a yard. That was half a yard. So Saints get a new fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 from their own 35. Just under 5 minutes to go. Shuck's going to take the snap. It's going to be a play action fake. Saints have max protection. He's going to throw it underneath to Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's going to catch it, get to the 40, and thrown out of bounds. So 2nd and 4, coming up for the New Orleans Saints. Really good protection there by New Orleans. Just guess they didn't have the look that they wanted over the, deep over the field. That's on me, Rumbler. Yeah, it was a direct snap. That's on me. I should have said it. Honestly, I was thinking it was going to be a punt all the way, and ends up being a fake, and it fooled me. Saints are going to throw this one over the middle of the field. It's going to be to Stoll. It's going to be a first down right at the stick. So Saints going to move this one to around their own 46, kind of between their 45 and 46 here. 1st and 10 coming up. Never been a greater Saint than Taysom Hill. 1st and 10. Saints are going to give the handoff to Taysom Hill. He's going to cut back over the middle of the field and get to the Jets 48. Pretty good gain on first down on that option right there. So 2nd and 4 for New Orleans. This offense is starting to move. It's starting to move. This is what you want to see. Taysom Hill's going to go to the bench now. 2nd and 4. 3:40 to go in this first half. 6-6. Saints looking to put on some points here. Jets are going to get the ball to start the second half. So really important the Saints can get something going here. Obviously would love 7, but beggars can't be choosers. 2nd and 4. They got Evan Hull in the backfield. Shuck takes a snap. It's going to be a pass. He's going to throw it over the middle of the field. It's going to be caught. And that's a really nice catch by Juwan Johnson over the middle of the field and to the 32 of the Jets. That is a really nice throw, really nice catch. Actually might have been better catch than throw. That might have been slightly behind. Let's see. Juwan on this little post. And yeah, slightly behind. Really good job by Juwan Johnson, though. First and 10 now from the Jets 33. Shuck's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it to Evan Hull, and Hull is going to get dropped for a loss of 1. Jets really crashed right there. What a catch by Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson's been pretty good the last couple weeks, man. Pretty good stuff. JJ really impressive this game. He's been awesome, man. He's been awesome. So 2nd and 12, 2:30 to go, and the Saints are at the Jets 36. Let's see if they can kind of keep this going. Shuck's usually been on at his best in these type of long situations. Jets look like they're showing pressure here. Got 6 in the front. Let's see if they send it. They only end up showing 4. They're going to dump it underneath to Mason Tipton, and Mason Tipton's going to dive, and I think he's got the first at the Jets 34. Let's see where they mark it. They do. It's a first down, and we are going to head into the 2-minute warning. Saints, Jets tied at 6. Saints are threatening, though. Tyler Shuck putting together maybe his best drive so far of the afternoon. Really good stuff so far. And by the way, you're looking at Shuck probably, he's on pace for over 300 yards passing today. So pretty good stuff from the rookie quarterback. I'm writing my apology letter to Juwan Johnson, delivering it on Christmas Eve. If he keeps it up, I'll sign my name on there for me too. I'd be forgetting that Juwan Johnson and Shuck are old college teammates. Connection makes sense when you think about it. It does. It really does. It also shows in a weird way, but also in a cool way, like no two players have the same path to the NFL. You know, Shuck at Oregon, injured, Texas Tech, injured, then goes to Louisville, has a really good season, but 7 years of college. And, you know, now you're teammates with Juwan Johnson, who you were teammates with early on in your career. It's just crazy to think about. You know, and the crazier thing is, like, Juwan has been in the NFL since 2020. You know, he's in his 6th year, and Shuck, who is an old college teammate of his, is in his 1st year. Just crazy stuff. I think Kellen was going for a time-eating drive with that special teams fake out. Well, if that's the case, then Kellen is absolutely cooking some really good stuff here. Because right now, if we're just going to go in terms of the yardage and the time and distance on this drive, the Saints right now have an 11-play, 68-yard drive that's chewed up 5 minutes and 17 seconds. You can't scheme it, in my opinion, any better than that. And I think the one thing that Sean Payton and Drew Brees did so masterfully for years, and I loved it, is when they needed to have those long, methodical drives that end up with points, but more importantly, keep the other team on the bench, you knew they were great at it. And if the Saints end up getting 7 here, this is going to be the 2nd week in a row that they do something of that magnitude. Last week, they had a 95-yard drive. I think it was like 17 or 18 plays. It was something absurd. And a lot of it was because there was penalties and they were backing themselves up. But just nice to see. I don't know if I'm worried or not due to score against the Jets, knowing most teams have been blowing the Jets. Are you worried or no? Not really. A, Saints don't have the playmakers to really make a huge impact. B, Jets did fire their DC, and now Aaron Glenn making Chris Harris the interim and feeling like he's got a little bit more of a hand in what's going on. I think you were always going to get a really nice inspired effort from the Jets defense today. I really do believe that. That said, if the Saints were to score a touchdown here, you go into the half with 13, and then you give yourself another 13 in the second half, and the Saints walk out with 26 points. That will be enough to win this game, and I would be very happy with 26 points for the Saints, considering it's been a struggle for them to get to 17 this season. So that's just kind of the way I'm going to look at it. Maybe it's coping, but that's just the way I'm looking at it. Make Glenn wish he had chosen the Saints. I mean, already right now, I think the Saints have to feel pretty good about their decision, because the one thing that Aaron Glenn was going to do was bring in Justin Fields. And I understood the principle of it. You're hoping he would be the next quarterback that redeems himself. Hasn't been the case, though. And the Saints, on the other hand, went with Shuck, and that's been working. 1st and 10 from the Jets 23. Taysom Hill's going to be in motion. Shuck's going to take the snap. He's going to look. He's going to throw it underneath. He's going to hit Estime. Estime is going to gain about 4 yards. 2nd and 6 coming up. They're going to call it 2nd and 5, excuse me. So 2nd and 5, Saints still chewing up time off that clock. And looks like we're going to have a timeout here. So Kellen Moore will have time to think it over. Anyone else remember Penn State Juwan Johnson? I do. That actually was my introduction to Juwan Johnson. You know, that's kind of where I got to really watch him. Didn't think he's going to do much in the NFL, though, and obviously he's already exceeded his expectations. Who's your rookie of the year, and is Shuck in the running if the Saints win out? Call it a hot take. Call it a hot take. I really think that if they were to win out and he looks good, I think he might win rookie of the year. And the reason I say that is right now his odds keep going up. His odds are still high, right? They're still not favorable. But I mean, they're favorable if you're a bettor and you want to try and take a swing on something. But I think right now, the rookie class is stalled at quarterback, right? Dart stalled a little bit. Cam Ward is actually starting to play a lot better, but hasn't had that great of a season. Emeka Egbuka at wide receiver has stalled. So I do think there's a window where Shuck can, but he's got to win out and he's got to look good doing it. 2nd and 5. The Saints are taking the snap from the Jets 18. Shuck drops back to throw. He's going to throw this one to the left. It's going to be dropped by Kevin Austin Jr. Would have been a first down. Now it's 3rd and 5 coming up. Touch wood, but Shuck doesn't throw many hospital balls / near interceptions compared to other rookies. Well, I'll knock on wood for you. So there's the knock on wood. The hospital balls, no. Interceptions might come and go. It's possible, but yeah, hospital balls haven't been there. Do you think Darnold finally found a permanent home for the rest of his career? So good for him. I mean, we'll see. He looks good there, though. I thought he had a nice – I mean, he was up and down on Thursday, but at least he didn't completely melt down. But him and Kubiak's been a good fit. 3rd and 5. The Jets are getting pressure. Shuck's going to throw this one deep. He's got Olave. It is. It's broken up at the last second. Oh, man. He had Olave in the right-hand corner. He put the ball right where it needed to be. Let's get the replay here. I think that ends up just being a drop on Olave, to be quite honest. Let's see. Either that. It's also a great defensive play, but let's see. That is. Oh, that's a good throw. It's a good throw. It's a tough catch to make. Maybe the ball could have been a little bit further out. It's also a good defensive play. That's tough. Had him right there. But I think I would say this. He's still a really good football player. That is the difference, though, that when fans get frustrated a lot, I think that plays a difference. But that's also a good defensive play. And look, as Smith kicks the field goal, he's 3 for 3 on the day. When Charlie Smith makes the field goal. When Olave's going up for that, it's very hard for him to catch that and then bring it to a secure spot because you have the DB over your shoulder. So you'd love for him to corral that in, but I also think that in that moment it's tough, man. That's why I say I want the Saints to draft a Carnell Tate. You throw that thing to Carnell Tate, he's coming down with it. He's a big dude. So, yeah. It don't make a F who wins. Saints are awful. I'd rather the Jets win. Go Jets. All right. Well, not coming from me. Would you still pick Olave or Williams, knowing that Williams can do and shown in Detroit? I think that I'm still comfortable with Olave. I think Jameson's a good player, but I think Jameson, I mean, look who he's also got next to him. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have a really good backfield. I know he's injured right now, but Sam Laporte is a really good tight end, takes up a space in the middle of the field. I think Olave right now, it's just I think Olave's probably got less to do. I mean, less around him, as opposed to Jameson. So I think Olave's a better receiver. That's what I would say. What a throw, Shuck. It's a good throw, man. It's a good throw. It's against pressure. It's where it needs to be. I think, you're probably going to say, maybe that's the difference. But I don't know. I think it's also great defense. I can argue it was a really good throw and it was really good defense. And I know a lot of people are going to get on Olave for that one. I get it. But he's also having a really good half. I don't know. That's the problem with Olave. He never does enough to win people over completely. But he still makes enough plays that he's going to be a difference maker for the Saints. So the only knock I would say, guys, for this drive now is that it was a 17-play drive and it ends in 3. A 17-play drive that ends in 7. It would have been a masterful one for Kellen Moore. So that's kind of where we're at. And I'm trying to tweet through something. So excuse me for a sec for looking a little delayed here. Don't think that's really Olave's fault. Great D. I kind of agree with that. Do you think the Saints are sold on Shuck going forward? I do personally. I really do think that would have been. I think they're sold on him. I think drives like that are a good idea. Why, right? You're backed up at your own 9, ends up coming in points. Do you think if Olave was drafted in 2021 with Winston not getting hurt, Saints make playoffs hypothetically? Yeah, I mean, I think even if Winston doesn't get hurt, they would have made the playoffs, to be quite honest. They missed it out by a tiebreaker, right? I think the Niners won that last game of the season, and that's why they didn't get in. Vele would have helped on that play. Yeah, I think, having Vele even a couple plays earlier, right? Kevin Austin Jr. drops a pass that's at the line of scrimmage, at the first down marker, excuse me. That's, to me, that's the difference in this one. So, got to be better in that spot. And right there, you didn't get it. Kevin Austin comes up short. And, don't live to see another day, unfortunately. So let's see the defense can do their job. I'll get back to your comments, guys, in just a second. I see you guys put more in there. Jets are going to start from their own 35. Breece Hall in the backfield with Brady Cook. Minute and 31 to go. Saints have all 3 timeouts. Brady Cook's going to look over the middle of the field. He's going to throw it over the middle of the field. It's broken up, and it is incomplete. I was hoping that ball would stay up a little bit longer so it could be an interception, but a quick incompletion there. Olave's having a good game. He is. He is having a good game. I don't know what they're going to do contract-wise with him, but he's having a good game. Get Chuck some weapons ASAP. Couldn't agree more. Got to build around him and see if his game elevates or not. I mean, I think that's a good thing to see, right? Tyler Shuck's the next Tom Brady. Man, I hope so, but I don't think so. Brady Cook taking the snap. 2nd and 10 from their own 35. He's going to throw it underneath. He's going to get his receiver, and it is going to be an 8-yard gain. A lot of open space on the left right there. So 3rd and 2. If you're the Saints, you want to make a play here defensively. You got to stop right here. You get the ball back one more time before the end of the half. So let's see. Jets will have options, though. Considering it's 3rd and short, they can run it if they want. Could continue to keep it through the air. We'll see. Olave was cooking with Vele. You're right. Yeah. Vele the last 3 games was sensational, guys. Sensational. It would be nice if we could catch in the end zone. Yep, you're not wrong. They're going to go with a run. The handoff looked a little odd there. Oh, my goodness. Kool-Aid had Breece Hall for a loss of yards in the backfield, and he just gets to the corner and gets the first down. That's brutal. I think that's a bad angle by Kool-Aid, I think. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, just kind of hesitated, and that's just all it took for him to get around the edge. Brandon Staley's upset about that one, and I understand it. That's a get off the field and steal one more possession. And now it's Jets maybe tying the game or taking the lead at the end of the half. Let's see what happens here. Jets at their own 46. Brady Cook in shotgun. Breece Hall lined up behind him. Takes the snap. He's looking over the middle of the field. He's now looking right. He's going to go underneath to Williams. He is going to be tackled. Really good job by Alontae Taylor. Really good job not letting go there. Jets are going to let the clock run a little bit. It's going to be 2nd and 9 from their 47. He fell for the hesitation instead of going for his legs. Yep, that's kind of what it looked like, right? Just really tough right there. Now, I mean, conversely, good open field tackle just now from Alontae, but man, I'd rather have the open field tackle. And let's see, it looks like the Saints are going to call timeout. So 2nd and 9, clock stops. Let's see if Saints maybe want to get the ball back. We'll see what happens. Or maybe they just didn't feel like they were set there. Yeah, you would rather have the tackle on the 3rd down, and you gotta get Breece Hall in that moment to try to cut it back. By the way he hesitated and where he positioned himself, you kind of give yourself the outside. So just rough job by Kool-Aid there. And it's been a good half for the defense. Obviously, it's just I don't know. Tough moment right there. That could be the difference between 3 or no points. 2nd and 9. Jets are from their own 46. Brady Cook's going to look over the middle of the field. He's going to step up, and he is going to get sacked. And that was Cam Jordan who came flying in. At this point, Cam Jordan is just ageless. And now if you're the Saints, I think you got to call timeout. I think you got to call timeout and think, hey, can we get the ball back here and put up more points? Man, what a nice job by Cam Jordan here. Looks like DeMario is going to kind of set up. Yep, kind of chips the right tackle, and that lets Cam Jordan on the stunt come underneath and make the play. So it is now going to be 3rd and long for the Jets. Really nice job by Cam. Look at the 2 vets, man, Cam and DeMario making it happen there. Saints defense making plays out there. And honestly, he still has gas left in the tank, but I wouldn't mind if Cam Jordan, retired after this year and ended his career on like such a high note. But whatever he decides, he's got options now. Saints look like they're showing pressure. They're going to back out of it though. Brzez's going to step up, get pressure. Cam Jordan again. Cam Jordan with back-to-back sacks. Cam Jordan. Oh my goodness. He shut that drive down. Now the Saints have a chance to add more points on the board. Wow. Wow, what a job by Cam. And I think this one was all called, a lot of it caused by Brzez. Brzez does a really good job splitting the gap, forces Brady Cook to step up. And then Cam Jordan just kind of finishes off right there. So Saints are going to have a chance to get the ball back here. Defense comes up huge. Cam Jordan, man, balling the hell out. He's got 2 sacks already on the day. So Cam Jordan is now up to 8.5 sacks on the season. He is 36 years old. He might have 10 sacks when this season's all over. You are right about that, Ed. It does seem like Cam's best football is towards the end of the year. Does seem like it. Jets are going to punt. Let's see where this one ends up going. It's a booming punt. Pettis is going to fair catch at the 8. Don't know how I feel about that one. He's got 8.5 sacks this year so far, guys. 8.5. All right, let's see what Tyler Shuck can do. You got 54 seconds left. You're thinking field goal here. Let's see if your rookie quarterback can make a play. I love that Kellen Moore was calling that aggressive, though. I like that he used the timeouts. You know your defense is humming. You know the Jets' offense has been stinking up the joint. Try to see if you get your offense the ball back, especially because the Jets are going to start the ball with the second half. I think that was a really good job there. Let it go in the end zone. What is he doing? I mean, it's either two things. He's going to bounce and roll towards the end zone, or it's going to bounce in a favorable way and roll towards the 20. I don't know why he's fair catching from the 8. Shuck takes the snap. 1st and 10. He's got time. He's going to throw this one underneath. It is going to be caught by Jawan, but it is a short gain. 2nd and 10. 2nd and 6, I believe. 2nd and 4. Excuse me. I'm losing my track here. 2nd and 4. Saints are going to take the snap from their own 15. Shuck's going to look. He's going to throw it to Jawan. It's incomplete. So Saints now a little bit in a tight spot here. 3rd and 4. See what happens here. Jets might get the ball back one more time. You might have to punt from an unfavorable spot. Jets do have 2 timeouts, so they could stop the clock. Remember how Moore had handcuffed Rattler in 2 minutes? He's learned his lesson, I hope. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it also comes back to situational spots. I think against the Jets, you probably felt like 3rd and long. I could call timeout. They're probably not going to beat us. I do think that's a lot of it. 3rd and 4. Saints at their own 15. They need 4 yards to keep this drive alive. Clock is their enemy right now. 34 seconds in the game. Chuck takes a snap. He's going to go deep. He's got Jawan Johnson. Jawan Johnson makes the catch, and Jawan Johnson gets out of bounds in the dumbest way possible, but it still goes out of bounds. So the Saints with a huge hook up there down the sideline all the way. Where are they at? Let's get the yardage here. I still don't know what move Jawan Johnson's trying to do there. Thank God he went out of bounds. But a huge pick up there. The Saints are approaching midfield now. They're at their own 46. The drive stays alive. Really nice throw from Shuck. Hits Jawan in stride, and Jawan is having his best game of the season so far, it feels like. Estime lined up in the backfield with Shuck at the 46. He takes the snap. He's going to step up. He's going to dump it over the middle to the man of the hour, which has been Jawan Johnson. Jawan Johnson is going to get to the 43. Saints are going to have to spike this football. Shuck is going to clock it with 12 seconds to go. 1st and 10. New Orleans is inside Jets territory. Right now, it would be a 62-yard field goal for Charlie Smith. So let's see if we get a 4th. So one of you guys said 4 field goals for Charlie Smith today. This is going to be his 4th field goal attempt already, which is crazy. So great call by you, whoever made it. I forgot who said it, but awesome call. You guys were right. 2nd and 10. The Saints are going to take the snap from the Jets 43. Shuck's going to drop back. He's going to look to the left. He's going to throw deep. He's going to throw this one out of bounds. Was looking for Olave. You can live with that one every day of the week. Those don't harm you. Saints are going to need a big play here, though. Either that or you're settling for a really deep field goal from Charlie Smith. If you could get another 5 yards here, make it a little bit more manageable, that'd be good for New Orleans. Let's see what happens. Saints are lined up. 2 receivers to their right, 2 to the left. Estime in the backfield. Jets are protecting the sidelines. Shuck's going to throw this one incomplete. And they are going to have to let Charlie Smith attempt one all the way from Bourbon Street. And let's see what happens. Charlie Smith, he's already made 30 field goals from 35, 36, and 49 today. He's going to have this attempt from 61. Earned a 3-year contract this week. It's a long attempt for Charlie Smith. Snap is up, and the kick is going way left. Way left. That thing had no chance. So Charlie Smith misses the field goal attempt, and the Saints are going to go into halftime with a 9-6 lead over the Jets. So that difference in yardage, that could have been it. So halftime's here. Saints have a 3-point lead over the Jets. Let's get into some of our thoughts. And as always, guys, I hope you guys share any of yours, and we'll get into them about what happened in this half. So let's start off with the good. Defensively, Saints defense has done their job, even when they've been in spots that haven't been great. The turnover from Taysom Hill on the first drive, the unsuccessful 4th down attempt with Taysom Hill on the run. The Saints held them to field goals in those spots and did a really good job of making sure that you minimize the damage. So Saints defense has done a good job of the bend, don't break. And at the end of the half, I think they did a good job because of Cam Jordan, because of DeMario, because of Brian Brzee, of holding them to an unsuccessful drive at the end. Could have been a 9-9 game. Instead, it's 9-6. So defensively, Saints have done their job. Special teams, punt game, still a little bit shaky. Charlie Smith, look, 61-yarder was way left, but he is 3-4. I think the makeable ones, he's done his job, so you kind of have an incomplete grade on him. Offensively, I think this is where we're at right now with the Saints. The run game is non-existent. The run game probably will continue to be non-existent. Can your quarterback take care of the football? So far, he's done that. He's going to have to do that in the second half. So can Tyler Shuck take care of the football? Can the Saints offense find a way to finally get their asses in the end zone? And if they do that, this feels like those type of game, and maybe I'm wrong. If the Saints get an early stop and were to score a touchdown after, and all of a sudden it is 16-6, does it not feel like that might be an insurmountable lead for the Jets to come back from? I think that's kind of where we're at. So defensively, A+ so far with the way they perform. Offensively, there's been some good signs. It's just the stalling when you get in Jets territory. You know, the 3 really short field goal attempts so far, you got to at least get 6 at some point, and we'll see if they do that. So a lot of, I think Just Call Me Trey just put it the best, a lot of meat on the bone. Saints should be up more. They're not. Whole other half left of football to play for them to feel like they can be in a spot where they can win their 3rd straight game. So we'll see what happens. But I think that I think so far I like what the defense is showing. Rob says it's like watching a 4th quarter preseason game, but with the starting quarterback still in. Yeah, I think at times it's definitely had that vibe of a preseason game. There's no question about it. There's no question about that. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the Saints can show us a little bit more than preseason-esque football, because right now, not a lot. Practically just field goal wars. We're still winning, though. Yeah, look, I mean, that's kind of what we've seen. I think the Olave throw in the corner of the end zone, I thought it was good defense. I know a lot of people, kind of put that one on Olave, but it is really good defense. Saints got to convert there. Like I said, there is no run game, and I think that's what makes this a little bit more difficult and a little bit more challenging for Kellen Moore, is everything they have to do is under the belief that we're not going to be able to successfully run the football. Their leading rusher is Taysom Hill with 21 yards, and right after him is Audric Estime with 10. So you're not getting much there. You're not. And I think for New Orleans, that's a problem. That's absolutely a problem. So we'll see how they end up kind of adjusting off that. I do think that this team has a really, really, really good opportunity to come out with a great second half and really stamp this game and get to 3 wins in a row, So we'll see. Jawan Johnson, he's been exceptional this half. I want to give him his flowers. He's already at 82 receiving yards. For reference, guys, his high this season is 92. So Jawan's 10 more yards away from having the best game of the season. Olave, 6 catches, 58. He's done his job. Haven't really seen enough from everyone else, right? Kevin Austin hasn't done enough. He's only got 1 catch for 15 yards. I thought Estime would be a little bit better. Haven't really seen much there. So a little bit of I guess outside of your big guys and Alvin and Juwan, you haven't really got enough from the supporting guys, but maybe they'll change. With the weapons Chuck has, I really can't ask for much better, honestly. I think Chuck's been fine. 21 of 32. I think that's the concern, right? He's got 32 pass attempts already. And I think a lot of it is because the Saints just can't run the damn football. 3 carries for Aldrich Estime, 4 carries for Evan Hull. Evan Hull's got 4 carries for 0 yards, guys. 4 carries for 0 yards. The running back room needs help. The running back room needs help in the worst possible way. So we'll see. The way the Saints have played in the second half lately, I don't hate being in this position. Need to find the end zone, though. I agree. I think that is something that the Saints have really, really lacked. And, first half offense they've lacked. Second half offense been a lot better. Maybe that trend kind of continues. And if it is, and if this offense can get it going in the second half, that could be enough to get it over. Has Juwan ever broken 100 yards? Well, lucky for you, Google is our friend, and we're going to check right now because I really can't remember if we've had an 100-yard game from Juwan Johnson, but we shall check. Let's see. No. So his career high is 92. So Juwan's on track to have the best game of his career. Not bad. Not bad one bit. Offseason, they need at least 2 solid running backs and at least 2 wide receivers through draft to free agency, but they need talent on offense. They do. Need a wide receiver 2, need a wide receiver 3. I think maybe wide receiver 3 could be Vele, but he's banged up right now, so that's a tough part of it, right? Kevin Austin Jr. is playing meaningful snaps. Mason Tipton's playing meaningful snaps. These are not good things for the Saints, so got to figure this out, and hopefully they will. But, yeah, it's just supporting cast right now is not there. It's not there. Outside of Alvin and Juwan, you don't have playmakers. Juwan seems a completely different player with Chuck at quarterback. Does feel that way. Chuck is playing well enough to win. He missed a couple throws, but that's expected. I'm still excited for the future. Moore's decision-making is questionable, but I believe we have the right coach. Yeah, time will tell. I actually think that Kellen Moore's done some good today, guys. I like the fake punt call. I thought that was good. I like that he was using his timeouts towards the end of the half because he wanted to get one more possession for his offense. And in theory, it was the right move, right? Saints are about a couple yards away from making the field goal more manageable for Charlie Smith, and then it would be a 12-6 game. So it was the right call. Just didn't end up making the kick. And didn't get enough yardage, I would say, to make the kick a little bit easier. But it was the right decision, and that's what I like. So I think Kellen's been good. O-line needs help. Yeah, the guard play is not good enough. The guard play is not good enough for this team. I didn't see the Shuck podcast. If someone could, if you guys have me on Twitter, maybe someone message it to me or at me, and I'll definitely check it out, though. It sounds pretty interesting. It's bad when you have to draft O-line again. It's frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. The Saints shouldn't be in a spot where they got to go O-line. And yet, you can make the argument that they need to, right? Guard play is really, really bad. You need to hit on a running back in the draft and free agency. Yep. I've said it before. I'll say it again. They need a double dip. They probably need a double dip there. So we'll see. Why do they run him into 10 guys? Let him pass. He was a QB, We talk about Taysom. I do agree if that's what you're talking about. I do think they got to mix it up a little bit. I think when you just constantly go with runs, it's really frustrating. I think, you're predictable on offense. You make it a little bit easier for the Jets to just bottle up towards the line of scrimmage. And then you get into those spots where, this is what happens. So, yeah, not ideal. I'll just put it that way. Saints should try and get Breece Hall if they can. He's a good running back. He is a good running back, and he will be a free agent. So we'll see. Although I kind of think the Jets might tag him, but who knows? Maybe they don't. And the Saints got a chance there to go out and get themselves a premier back in free agency. So we'll see, guys. We'll definitely see. We have 0 running game. I'm not surprised Chuck has 32 pass attempts. No, I agree. And it's not ideal. It's not ideal at all that the Saints have to throw it probably 50 times today, minimum, with Chuck. So, what are you going to do at this point, though? 2 games left after this. Address running back in the offseason, guys. I think that's what you got to do. Really need a wide receiver that can break tackles. Those crossing routes we throw short, just get tackled immediately. Yep. I don't disagree with that. Breece Hall, Tate, Olave, Harbor in 2027. Trey, Des Green. This offense will be cooking with Chuck. Just get me weapons, man. That's what you're doing there. So I mess with that, Fred, for sure. This feels like it could be Cam and Taysom's last game in the Dome. Yeah, it could be. If it is Cam's last game in the Dome, what a way it would be for him to go out. He's already up to 2 sacks. Wouldn't be surprised if he's got another one in him. Wouldn't be surprised if he's got another sack in him in the second half. Highly unlikely, but can you imagine Arvell Reese, Cam Young, and the potential of Grando too? Yeah, I think that dream's kind of died over the last couple of weeks, but who knows? I mean, I think Arvell Reese would be a really good fit, though. I think he'd be a really, really good fit. I so wanted that one for Charlie. So did I, man. What a confidence boost it would be. We have a 4-4. Would have a 4-for-4 half. Just would be really awesome stuff for him. Unfortunately, that thing sailed left as quick as possible. But yeah, Charlie Smith still, he made the ones he had to make. That at least is a good sign. The 61-yarder getting shanked like that isn't great, but what are you going to do? Cam Jordan, 3 sacks away from breaking LT's career total. Yeah, I think it's crazy to think when you go on the all-time sacks for the NFL and you look at the numbers, Cam Jordan is, like you mentioned, he's on pace to just pass a couple of big names, man. Big names. Like, we're talking about where he's at in his career. Another 10 sacks, let's say, and I don't know if he has that many left in his career, but let's say he had another 5 because he's at 130 right now. If you had another 5, you're talking about him passing some really, really big-time names. You mentioned LT, that's one of them. Jared Allen. I think he's like 6 away. Jared Allen was an awesome playmaker. Von Miller, he's coming up on. John Randall. There are some elite names, and Cam Jordan is really approaching that. I think that's awesome. You find a solid running back in the later round. I mean, Kyle Manung guy for Chicago was undrafted, so I'd rather just get a wide receiver or defensive end, but who knows, really. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go first round for one, but they need to get a running back, guys. I can't stress it enough. I'm switching to you over the other guy. You're much better as we don't get the game in Texas. Tay needs to go full Seattle mode today for scores. Chris, our lack of running game is exactly why I've been telling fans we need to fix our offensive line first. What good is to get Jeremiah Love if our O-line can't block for him? I don't disagree, but the running back room for the Saints is really, really just deprived of talent. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that are going to go out there right now, even at this stage in the season, and say Audric Estime, Evan Hull are their starting running backs. And yet that's where the Saints are at right now. And I think that's really frustrating. So I get it, but it has to be better. It has to be better. It can't just look like this. Okay. So call me unfair or whatever, which I don't think you guys will, but I think it's a mix. Got to get better guard play, but man, running back class is terrible. Would really like to see the defense get an interception or two. I need to see Staley start to show Cook some stuff he's not used to. Yeah, that's fair. Look, I think there's been opportunities. Kool-Aid had a chance. There was a DeMario deflection that if it hung in the air a little bit longer, maybe that's a pick. So I do think the Saints are going to get one. I really do. And even if not, if the Saints don't get one and they hold the Jets to under 10 points, I'll take that every day of the week. You know? Our offensive line gets no push in the run game. None. Do you think Shuck has done enough to be called the best quarterback in the draft class? So there's 2 weeks left. I think right now you can make an argument. I think he has the, I don't want to say he has the least to work with because like the Titans don't have talent. I know the Giants are banged up. I will say though, since he's been named the starter, I think he's been the most consistent. He had a really good start against the Panthers. He had a really nice game against the Dolphins, especially that second half. Had a great game against the Bucs. Follow that up with a great game against the Panthers. So we've seen 4 good games from Shuck so far, and he's only started in 6 games. And right now, if he continues this game, it'll be a good start. If he throws the ball 50-something times and completes 66% of his passes, which he's on pace to do, I would really consider that a heck of a game for your rookie quarterback, given where they're at. We can't keep blowing first-round picks on O-line. Oh, but they can. But they can. Where do you rank Ben Johnson? I think he's one of the 10 best coaches right now in the NFL. I know it's year 1, but he's been that impressive. You don't think Miller would work out? Kendra Miller? I mean, I want him to. I think he's talented enough, but at some point, you got to be available. And unfortunately, that guy just hasn't been available. And it breaks my heart because I think Kendra's a really talented playmaker. And you saw that earlier this year, but just can't stay healthy. I see Kellen trusting Shuck more. He needs to fully allow him to take control. I think you're getting there, though. I think you're getting there. Sorry, I put U.S. currency on Brady Cook throwing interception. Vegas will not let it happen. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. It's tough, man. Sports betting is it's quite wicked, I would say. That's what I would say. You know, every time you think you got something, you think you got the right play or whatever, and just an abject disaster it ends up being, you know? So that's my spiel of the day. It's my spiel of the day, guys. See what else you guys got going in the comments here. We're about to start the second half. 3 of the Saints' all-time greats were Knicks, Evans, and Armstead, and none of them are first-rounders. I think that's very fair. Jets are going to get this started off with a run, guys, and it is going to be a 5-yard gain for Breece Hall. They ran him on the right side of the offensive line. Even, unfortunately, he's been banged up, but, Eric McCoy, another guy, not first round, really good offensive lineman. Unfortunately, he hasn't stayed healthy, but, you can find value later on. I don't disagree with that. Saints have just been going for it, though. If they were, I think 3 out of the last 4 drafts have taken an offensive tackle in the first round. Jets got a 2nd and 5 from their own 40 in the shotgun. Williams in motion. They're going to run this to the left side with Breece Hall, and he'll pick up the first down. So Jets getting the ground game going to start this second half. I think that's going to be the big thing here, and this is why I think for the Saints, the lack of touchdowns in this game has really killed you. If you could get the Jets in an obvious passing situation with Brady Cook, with the way their pass rush has performed today, I like my chances. I really do. So we'll see. So we got 1st and 10. Jets at their own 45. Mechie in motion. Now Rucker in motion. They're going to throw this one out wide. There's going to be a flag. I think the Jets weren't set. This should be a flag on the Jets. Should back them up. Just realized the Saints have zero concern with the Jets driving the ball. They keep kicking the kickoff out of the back of the end zone and giving up the extra yards. Look, I think that's the right call. I mean, in a game like this with the Jets, where they just haven't been a good offense this year, why let a special teams return dictate this game? And I think about this in football a lot. I think special teams is the great equalizer in things. Look, yesterday, Commanders played the Eagles. Eagles won, but beginning of the game, Eagles fumbled on the opening kickoff. And I'm like, man, if you're going to pull off an upset, stuff like that's what you need, 1st and 15, Jets at their own 40, backed up on the illegal shift right there. Cook's going to throw this one out to the left, and it is going to be caught. Kool-Aid slammed Mechie down. It's going to be a 5-yard gain. So 2nd and 10, kind of back to where you were a minute ago. Longest active streak without an 1,000-yard rusher. The Jets' last 1,000-yard rusher was in 2015 with Chris Ivory, former Saint. And the Saints haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since Mark Ingram in 2017. Interesting graphic there from CBS. So kind of double dipping there on the Saints. 2nd and they're going to mark it 11. Jets at their own 45. Breece Hall in the backfield. Cook's going to go with a delayed handoff to Breece Hall, and Breece Hall is going to get about 5 yards before he gets slammed by Demario Davis. So 3rd and maybe about 6. 3rd and 6 coming up. Good delayed handoff. Thought Granderson might add Breece Hall in the backfield. Ends up missing the tackle. And it wasn't Demario, actually. It was Jonas Sanker. Excuse me. Demario missed. It was Sanker who came flying in. Really nice hit from Sanker. Rookie safety from Virginia. 3rd and 6. Jets at their 49. See if the Saints can get off the field here. This could be 4 down territory, depending on if the Jets are short by a yard or 2 of the line of gain. Brady Cook takes the snap. He's looking over the middle field. He is going to be sacked. What a call right there. And Stolberg shuts down this drive, and the Saints are going to force a punt to open up this second half. Love that call from Brandon Staley. Man, is he cooking. Man, is he cooking. You see Stolberg lined up on the left. They're showing blitz all the way. And, man, it's just a numbers game right there. It's just a numbers game. 3 Saints. Only 2 of them can get blocked on that right side of the line. Stolberg comes rushing through. 4th and 16. Jets are going to punt this away. Let's see if Pettis can make something happen here. And Pettis is going to fair catch this one at the 29. So not the best punt in the world, and that's fine for the Saints. They'll actually have okay starting field position for once. Love our rooks. Rookie class is ball, man. Stolberg, look, wasn't even the hardest of sacks in terms of the actual contact he made, but he got the job done. And that's all that freaking matters, man. But yeah, Stallbird, second-year guy from South Dakota State, really flashed in the preseason. Saints put him on the roster. And as Fred says, 44 looked like a weapon right there. Awesome stuff. So, guys, important drive coming up. Can't stress it enough. I think if you're New Orleans, the chance here to really just put a 10-point lead and make the Jets one-dimensional, I think it would change the game. I think it would change the game. So let's look right now, guys. There's 11:30 to go in the third quarter. The Jets have run the football 14 times. They've thrown the football 13 times. I think if you can make them one-dimensional, that is the quickest path to getting a victory, improving to 5-10 on the season. Feel like a touchdown puts this game in a stranglehold. Yep, I couldn't agree more. I think right now, the Jets have shown they don't want to pass the football. Like, even on 2nd and 11, they went with the delayed handoff. They went with the draw. And the reason they're doing that is they want to have the least amount of pressure on their quarterback. And if you look last week, the Jaguars didn't give the Jets a chance to breathe, right? The Jaguars jumped out to a 21-7 lead, I think it was. So the Jets just had to throw their way back into this one, and that didn't work. You ended up having Brady Cook throw 3 picks. They threw the ball 33 times, and the Jets lost by 28. And I'm not saying the Jets are going to win by 28 today, not by a long shot. But this is the drive that if you really want to tighten your grip on this game, this is the one. Let's get a touchdown on the board. Let's do something here where it's not just settling for 3. Someone outside of Juwan Johnson-Olave needs to show that they're NFL players here. Yeah, I mean, where's it going to come from is the question. I don't think it's a bad. I think it's an accurate comment, Robert, 100%. Where's it going to come from? So Shuck's thrown the ball 32 times. He's got 21 completions. 13 of those 21 completions are to Juwan Johnson and Chris Olave. So makes you wonder, makes you think, who's going to be that guy that steps up? Mason Tipton's got 2 catches right now. Taysom Hill's got 2 catches right now. Kevin Austin's got 1. Audric Estime's got 2. So we'll see what happens. I wouldn't mind if the Saints go with a screen on this drive. I think the Jets have been starting to bring a little bit of pressure. We saw last week, Panthers brought pressure. Kellen Moore called the screen, ended up going for a big gain. So I wouldn't mind them going that route. Whether they do or not, we'll see. But 1st and 10, Saints from their own 27. Shuck's going to go under center. He's going to drop back. He's going to uncork a deep ball. He's going to throw this one deep, and Olave can't track it. Incomplete. I have to see that replay again. Let's see if that was just a bad throw or if Olave just kind of lost sight of that ball. CBS, of course, is not going to show us a replay there. But Saints went for the kill shot on 1st down there. Ends up falling incomplete. Your best shot is Estime and Tipton. Probably. Yeah, probably. You're not wrong about that. Wish we got a second look at that deep ball. I thought there was a chance there. Maybe it just ends up being either it was a bad ball and I was wrong or just was unable to track it, or opposite shoulder of where Olave's looking. Shuck's going to drop back. He's going to go underneath. Foster Moreau is going to make the catch, and Foster Moreau is going to, that looked like, that looks like an injury for Foster. Let's see. And yep, he's going to limp off the field. Injuries have really plagued him, and that breaks my heart because that's not what you want to see. But 3rd and 5 coming up. Hopefully Foster Moreau's okay. That looked ugly. That looked like he got bent back in a way that he shouldn't be. How many Saints games do you get to in person each year? I usually do 1 home game. I didn't do one this year, and that was stupid of me. Truthfully, with the way their rookie class has played, I kind of want to do multiple next year. I kind of want to do that Paris game if they end up going. I feel like that'd be a cool thing. 3rd and 5. Shuck takes a snap. He's looking at Taysom over the middle field, but he gets crunched, and the Saints are going to have to punt. Oh, man, that if you had some time there, would have been an easy 1st down. Because I think Taysom crossing ends up being the guy that he could have hit, but shocker. The guard play for the Saints ends up being abysmal there. Yep. Both guards got beat. And that's the problem right now. The guard play for the Saints is really freaking bad. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying I want it to happen. Wouldn't shock me at all if this team's like, oh, let's draft an offensive lineman early, because the guard play is just that atrocious. Speaking of atrocious, the punt gets downed at the 30, so Jets won't have terrible field position. So 9-6 still. About just under 10 minutes in this third quarter. And yeah, guard play doesn't matter if Ruiz is in or not. It's just bad. All right, so 9:55, I believe, to go in the third. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break here on the Straight Up Saints podcast. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
What's up, guys? We have an awesome deal going on with the Game Time app. Make sure you use code BOOT to get $20 off your first purchase. I personally always use the Game Time app. There's no late hidden fees. You get to view your seat from where you want to sit in the stadium or the arena. And I absolutely love using the Game Time app. So make sure there's a lot of games coming up with the Pelicans, a lot of games coming up with LSU, Tulane, you name it. Make sure you use Game Time app and use code BOOT to get $20 off your first purchase.
All right, guys, we are back. Saw someone said I had to drain the hose. They are accurate. I'm not gonna lie about that. I was sitting there. I was like, man, this game's I don't know what to take a break, but I was like, man, it's time to hit a bathroom break. All right, so 3rd and 10, guys. 3rd and 1, excuse me. Jets are going to be lined up at their own 39. Gotta imagine they're going run here with Breece Hall. We'll see though. Maybe they'll shock us. It is going to be a run, and I think he got it. Yep, just got the first down. So the Jets will keep this drive moving. You really want to, and this is why I keep stressing the touchdown thing. The Jets have no problem playing this boring brand of football where they're just going to go run every single time. Even if it doesn't gain a lot of yards, but just to keep the clock moving and keep this a field goal game, they'll keep doing it gladly. I mean, this has kind of just been what the Aaron Glenn Jets have been this season. Not that the Saints have been some thrilling team to watch, but the Jets have been reluctant to take some chances offensively. And another run here off to the right side, and they're going to pick up maybe 2 yards. Flag comes in. We'll see. Hopefully it's holding on the Jets because, man, that would back this thing up. And, yeah, they're saying holding. Elsewhere, guys, Foster Moreau is going to the locker room. Really, really rough there. I thought that was a hip drop tackle before. So 1st and 20 because of the holding. And this is where, if you're the Saints defense, got to tee off here. Got to be able to tee off in this spot. Who's QB for the Chiefs now? I saw Minshew got injured. I honestly, I'm not too familiar with who their third string guy is. Let's see who they got. Chris Oladokun. Oh, wow. Chris Oladokun, former South Dakota State guy. I actually spoke to him when he was coming out of the draft. Nice guy. Hasn't done much in the NFL, but really nice dude. 1st and 20, they're going underneath, and it is going to be, tackling's just abysmal right there. It's going to be about a gain of 8. Brian Brzee was punching like a guy with no tomorrow there. Didn't get the ball out, but it is going to be 2nd and 12. So not ideal there. You'd love to have the Saints. You'd love to have the Jets a little bit more backed up in that spot. Obviously wasn't the case there. 2nd and 12, still somewhat manageable. If you're the Jets, I mean, that still leaves the door open for them to maybe run it. We'll see what they end up doing. But that was just ugly tackling from the Saints. 2nd and 12 from the Jets, 38. Brady Cook's looking, and he is going to be brought down by Alontae Taylor. The Saints with another sack. I don't know what the heck Brady Cook was doing there. That was a coverage sack, in my opinion. Brady Cook had about 3 full seconds to throw. Aaron Glenn shaking his head in disgust. But that was as much of a coverage sack as it gets. And now it'll be 3rd and 20, and the Saints had a good chance here to get the hell off the field, get this back to their offense. Look, I think if you're Brady Cook, the alarm's got to go off in your head after those 2 clear seconds he had that I got to get this ball out, and he doesn't. 3rd and 20. See if the Jets try to run something quick off to the left side. They got lined up in bunches there. It is going to be lined up there. Just make a tackle, and yep, they do their job. So it's going to be a punt. I was worried about a late hit there. That's why I kind of held my breath. But 4th down, Jets will punt. And the Saints, oh, we got an injury now. Is that Brian Brzee down on his, oh boy. Oh boy. I can't see if it's Brian Brzee down, but that does not look good. Injury timeout for New Orleans, and that looks rough. All right, so let's hope Brian Brzee's okay, but he does not look good. That looks like I don't know if it was a non-contact or something, but he looks like he's holding his knee. And hopefully we get a good update there, because that would be a really brutal blow to the Saints defense. And especially on a day like today, defense is playing exceptional football. You really feel like Brandon Staley's starting to, I mean, they're not even starting. This defense has been clicking for a while now. If this ends up being an injury to Brian Brzee that puts him out for a while, and I'm not just talking about the rest of the season, there's only 2 games left, but let's say extended, would be tough. And especially for Brzee, you're going into next year where the Saints have to make a decision on whether or not they're going to pick up his 5th-year option. Would really be a tough spot if this is a serious injury. And again, the defensive tackle room, as you guys mentioned, not great. Are we really going to notice Brzee not playing, though? Dude has been disappointment since he was drafted. I would say this about Brzee. I think he is an okay player. I don't think he is what I hoped he would be. And even at Clemson, he didn't have the best numbers at Clemson, but we're talking about a guy who was like a number 1 overall recruit out of high school. The potential's always been there. Do I think he's been great with the Saints? Absolutely not. Do I think that he's as bad as his numbers say this year? No. Do I think he's as good as his numbers said last year? Also no. I think he's probably closer to what we saw his rookie year. Hopefully it's not a serious injury, but we'll see. I wasn't going to drink today, but we all got to do our part and will this team to victory. Cheers, boys. Yeah, honestly, man, I'm kill for a victory beer right now. So hopefully the Saints get it done, because I'm kind of dying to have a beer at the moment. Chiefs might end up with a top 10 pick. Oh, let's look at Tankathon real quick. mean, they're in free fall, but can they fall? Oh, wow. Yeah, actually, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Chiefs actually might end up with a top 10 pick. Wow. Right now, they're picking 12th. Look around the league, see if there's any scores that would bump them up. Dolphins getting blown out by the Bengals. Not much of a surprise there. See if we got anything else going on that's a little shocking. Vikings Giants 13-10. That is a game to watch because let's see what happened. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, man. I just looked at that Brzee replay of the injury. Oh, man. That don't look good. Hopefully he's all right, but that doesn't look good. Jets are going to punt it. Let's see where this one lands. Last one landed at the 27. This one's a booming punt. Stop catching it back there. And Dante Pettis, what are we doing? What are we doing? He makes some egregious decisions. I don't understand what the hell he's doing there. So Saints are going to be backed all the way up at their own 7. So we keep talking about them needing to put together a drive. They're going to have to put one together here. It's got to have to be the long way here. Evan Hull in the backfield with Tyler Shuck. They're going to go with a run on first down, and they are going to pick up 3 yards, which honestly is one of their best runs of the day today. Why is he fielding inside the 10? I have no idea. And the fact is, he did this 2 punts ago. 2 punts ago, he fielded one at the 8, and he fair caught it. This time, he said, I'm not going to fair catch it at the 7. I'm just going to get blasted. Just let the ball go. I just don't understand what he's doing. I don't get what he's doing. To your point, though, yeah, this is why he was a free agent. So who the heck wants to deal with these type of mistakes? But put your back heel at the 10-yard line, and if it's past you, don't fucking catch it. I don't understand. 2nd and 7. Got Hull in the backfield. It's like Kevin Austin's wide up line. They're gonna go with a run to Taysom. Excuse me, not Evan Hull. And Taysom's gonna plow his way through to a first down. So the Saints will get to the 17 and keep the chains moving. Jeremiah Love draft Jadarian Price and get a decent effing returner. Be fine with that. I said, get me one of the Notre Dame backs or get me one of the Penn State backs, and I'd probably be happy with that. Now, that's also me saying it because those are the ones I watch the most, but they could get someone else too. Just get me a running back, please. Us Saints fans need to watch better running back play. 1st and 10. The Saints are at their own 18, 4:40 to go. They're going to go with a run here. Taysom's going to go towards the right, and he is going to pick up about 4 yards. I'm going to be quite honest. If Taysom could just hold on to the damn football, he's probably your best running back to use at the moment. Honestly. Because you're not getting anything with Evan Hull, and you're not getting anything with Estime. So, Gotta just run it with Taysom. And there's Brzee limping off to the locker room. So Brzee and Foster Moreau have gotten hurt this quarter. 2nd and 6 coming up. New Orleans at their own 22. Looks like we got a helmet issue with Stoll. Is Estime hurt? No, Estime is just on the field right now. They just got him out there. I think realistically, they weren't getting anything out of the run game with Estime and Hull. So I think now they've just resorted to Taysom as their running back. And if you're going to throw it, Estime is not a bad option out of your running backs to catch it. At least not at the moment. He's been a solid option. They're going to throw this one underneath. Mason Tipton's going to get the first down to the 30. Nice quick hitter for New Orleans. Keeps the drive moving. And this drive started at their own 7. So if they're able to put themselves in a position here where they score a touchdown, I can't even really discuss how good this would be for this team to go up 10, wear out this Jets defense a little bit. He's going to throw underneath. Estime is going to, Estime is going to escape a tackle, escape another tackle, and Estime is going to pick up the first down. What a play from Aldrick Estime. Wow. He looked like he was going to be downed for a loss of yards, and he slips out one tackle on the right side, leaps over another, and makes the play. What a job from Aldrick Estime. Hell of a freaking hurdle. Saints are going to take the snap. Shuck throws it to the left. He's throwing that one deep, and he is going to hit Olave, who was wide the hell open. Saints are moving and grooving right now, man. Awesome back-to-back plays for this team. Got to get 7 here, though. I can't stress it enough. The Saints offense has put on some pressure on the Jets, but it's time they actually get something cooking in the right direction. Time to get 7. Stop settling for 3. 1st and 10. Chuck takes a snap. He's going to look. He's going to step up. He's going to take off. He's going to pick up 5 yards and then slide. Safety first, Tyler Shuck says. Doesn't want to get hit. I'm cool with that. Saints keep this drive moving in the right direction. Should be 2nd and 5 coming up from the Jets, about 34, I would say. See what the yard marker, where they put it. Maybe 35. Yeah, so they put him on the 35. 2nd and 6. Estime still in the backfield. Shuck takes the shotgun snap. He's going to throw this one quickly to Kevin Austin. Kevin Austin is going to get some blocks. He's going to cut up field, but gets tripped up after about a 3-yard gain. I like Shuck sliding. So do I. I don't want him getting hit. And Shuck got blasted a couple times last week. So I'm all for Tyler Shuck prioritizing his own safety. Third and 3. We haven't heard Juwan Johnson's name in a little bit. Been a little quiet this second half. They're going to take the snap. They're going to go with a toss to Estime, and Estime should pick up the first. He will pick up the first, and the Saints keep this drive moving. I really like that play. Great patience from Tyler Shuck. Waited until the last possible moment to make the toss. Good job there by the Saints. And let me just say something. Kellen Moore's done a really good job right now play calling. I genuinely believe that. And I've been on Kellen Moore's ass this entire season. I think he's done a really good job so far with the play calling, especially on this drive. Really good balance. 5 runs, 4 passes so far. Now, going to go with RPO. This one is what we talked about, hospital balls. That could have been one. Thankfully, it's incomplete, and thankfully, Olave ducks underneath the incoming tackler. Man, that could have been damn disgusting to watch, and I would have hated to see that. Second and 10. Minute 27 to go in this third quarter. Saints threatening here. I think this would be an awesome opportunity to really get a stranglehold on this game. Looks like they got stolen motion. Going to drop back to throw. This is going to be a dump off to Taysom. If Taysom gets his block, he could get a first down. He gets tripped up, though, after a gain of 5. Don't mind that play, though. A little bit of a kind of a designed screen. Get some positive yards. Someone definitely pulled Shuck aside and said, don't take any more hits this season. You're our future. Wouldn't be surprised. And maybe that's also on him, too. I mean, you take a couple of hits in that Panthers game. I know he said he sold the last one a little bit. And maybe you're just like, hey, do I want to do this every single time? So, but that's what you want. You want your quarterback to learn from stuff like that. 3rd and 5. They got Estime in the backfield. Let's see if the Saints can finally keep this moving in Jets territory. Shuck's looking deep. He's got Olave, and it is a touchdown for the New Orleans Saints. Chris Olave wide open, and the Saints in business, man. Absolutely in business. Right there, right what they needed at the right time, and now you got a stranglehold on this game. Awesome drive for the Saints. It started from their own, from their own 7. Started a drive from their own 7, and Tyler Shuck and Kellen Moore and Olave, Estime, Taysom Hill, a lot of variety to this drive. Go down the field. Kellen Moore was cooking. Your quarterback hits your number 1 wide receiver in stride. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And how about Olave, by the way? How about Olave today with the way he's played? He's been outstanding. I think is he up to 100 yards yet, or he's awfully close? 99. So he needs 5 more yards to go to get himself in position to have 1,000 yards on the season. So we'll see what happens. But Saints are in a really good spot at the moment. And again, I'm going to keep saying this, guys. Your rookie quarterback starting to make plays. He's really starting to make plays. And I pray for the Saints' sake that this keeps up, because you want some hope. The quickest way to getting to relevancy again, to us watching primetime games again, is your rookie quarterback and the play caller and what they've done. Kellen Moore was cooking. He absolutely was. And by the way, 3rd down, That's the stuff, man. That's the stuff. And to think that a team that really has no semblance of a run game is figuring it out is awesome. Pretty much have no run game, but your rookie quarterback's able to kind of shoulder the workload offensively. Awesome, awesome stuff. Got a super chat here from Half-Life says the QB play is such a breath of fresh air. It absolutely is. Absolutely is. You know what? And I will say Kellen Moore deserves a lot of credit, because I don't know if Kellen Moore earlier in the season, if he's going to be like, oh, you know what? Let's just let our rookie quarterback throw the football 50 times, which is what he's going to do today. He's going to throw the football 50 times at this rate. And he's really opened it up, and Tyler Shuck has delivered. So really loving what the Saints are doing. And again, that drive started at their own 7, I believe. I can't stress it enough how awesome it is to see them do that. See what other comments you guys have. Fred says, I cracked my first beer and the Saints score a touchdown. Coincidence? I think not, man. That's got to hit so good. Because everyone knows that first sip of your ice cold beer is, there's not many things better in life than that. I really, on the flip side, I hate the last sip of a beer, but the first sip is just good stuff. Thank you, Chris. You're my lifeline this game. I'm sorry. You know what? But let me tell you something. Saints keep playing like this, we won't have to worry about this. We'll get these games in more markets, and that's why I know a lot of people are like, man, I don't want to, for them to have these wins. It hurts the draft position. If their rookie quarterback hits, they're going to have primetime games because it's a quarterback league. And when the Saints are playing at their best, their fan base comes out. And the ratings when the Saints had Breeze, especially that last 4-year run, the Saints were getting put on Thanksgiving because the ratings were churning out. So things can turn in a hurry. More rushing yards that drive than the whole first half. That will help the pass game. Absolutely. And like I said, really good variety with Kellen Moore on that drive. Shuck just broke Arch's record for touchdown passes for rookie quarterback in their first season. That's nuts. And only 7 starts, which is pretty cool. Jets fans happy to tank. I'm happy to just win. Hopefully. Me too. Jets going with a handoff here on first down, and Breece Hall is going to carve his way forward for 6 yards. Like I said, though, want to get that 10-point lead because you really want to put the Jets in a bind where it is pass, pass, pass. Can you imagine what Shuck could do with more weapons and offensive line help? Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, you look around right now, Estime's an important back for him. Kevin Austin Jr. is his wide receiver 3. Mason Timpson's wide receiver 2. Just going to go with a run here on second down. Bad angles again. Oh, Jesus Christ. Kool-Aid McKinstry, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing with these angles? Look at Jackson Dart's cool outfit, but New Orleans has the best quarterback in their division. I mean, are we just talking rookie quarterbacks? Because I agree. My take on Jackson Dart is this. I think Jackson Dart's a good rookie. I do think he benefits off the Giants being in the New York market, because quite frankly, Jackson Dart started off hot and it hasn't been as hot. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. He's a rookie quarterback. There's going to be struggles, but I genuinely think that Shuck is a better rookie quarterback right now. And if people want to say it's because of the age, that's fine. Say it's the age, but let's just be honest about who's been the better player right now. The better rookie quarterback is in New Orleans. It's just the truth. It is refreshing to see. And you know what? God willing, the Saints have a good offseason. I think your rookie quarterback will elevate with better playmakers. And I just think that's just common sense. But, you can look around the league and go, well, this guy doesn't have ewenough help. I'm sorry, do the Saints have a loaded roster? Quinn in Miami isn't doing so hot. 2 interceptions already. All right, that's a good example, right? I know Quinn Ewers is a 7th-round pick, so it's a little different. But, Tyler Shuck doesn't have Devin Achane. Now, I'm going to say Olave and Waddle caliber of receiver. I'm going to call it a wash. So let's move that out. But Achane is the great equalizer of so many things. He's one of the top 5 backs in the league, in my opinion. Saints are rolling out Taysom Hill, Evan Hull, and Audric Estime at running back. Wide receiver, yeah, Vele was awesome the last 3 weeks. Him and Shuck's connection was getting better and better, and then he gets on IR. Devin Neal was looking good. He goes on IR. So it's just been a lot. Shuck, Staley, and Moore growing so much in the later half of the season makes me so hopeful if our draft is golden next year. Yeah, I mean, what if the Saints were to have a draft class the way they just did now? Or close to it. It'll be tough to have the same one because Saints got about 5 contributors. But, man, it would be something for them. To see 93-yard scoring drive today. There was the field goal one before that was a 73-yard drive. I mean, these are methodical drives, 12 plays, 15 plays, churning out yards, eating up the clock. It's good stuff, man. It really is. And again, when it ends in 7, it's a great drive. Honestly, Shuck and Staley being bright spots for the Saints season wasn't on my bingo card. Yeah, to be honest, man, I was fine with the Saints drafting Shuck because I like the idea of taking a chance on quarterback till you feel like you have one. But in no way, shape, or form did I think that, this was going to work. Or at least work to the degree that it is working. Staley, another question mark. Was he as good as is he a great DC? He was great with the Rams, but was that just because he had a great talent? He had Aaron Donald. Was that what it is? Or is he one of those great DCs, bad head coaches? And right now, that seems to be the case. Wasn't good with LA, obviously, in terms of the way it ended with the Chargers, but as a DC, he was fantastic. 2nd and 14 for the Jets, opening up the fourth quarter. They're going to dump it off, and it is going to be a first down on what really looked to be a delayed screen for Isaiah Davis. So tough one for the Saints there. Really tough one there. 2nd and 14. Good blocking by the Jets, though. And Jets are moving here. Would be peak Saints, though, to give up a touchdown after they finally have a really good drive. I think we're all kind of in agreement there. Good play design by New York, though. Winning cures all. Frick a top 10 pick. We get this joy of watching the Saints win out and develop. Absolutely. And I'm going to say one more thing about that, Fred. There's 2 more games left after this season. The Saints have played well enough down the stretch that I'm going to be sad not watching them on Sundays. Genuinely. And right there, Jets go underneath to Davis again, just a 2-yard gain. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm in the minority of that. But, I woke up this morning and I was like, man, I got to watch the Saints play football. I'm excited. And you know what? It sounds like corny, but it's the truth. And the minute you're not excited to watch your team's games anymore, it's the worst feeling as an NFL fan. 2nd and 9 for the Jets. They're going to be at midfield here. See if the Saints can get themselves a big play. Defensive line has come up with the goods several times today. We're still waiting for that turnover. Saints haven't had that turnover. They're going to go with Breece Hall on the run, and he is going to pick up about 3 yards. So 3rd down coming up. Offseason feels like a lifetime. You got to appreciate it when it's on. It does. I say this every time. Everyone complains about football season. It's like 20 weeks out of the year, 20 weeks out of 52. I just think, the summer, it gets tough. There's not a ton on. If you love baseball, it works for you. If you don't, it's tough sledding. I don't think the NBA product's been that good anymore, unfortunately. So, when football's not on, there's this void from a sports standpoint. Here comes 3rd and 5. Jets from the Saints 48. Let's see if the defensive line can make a play. It looks like they're showing pressure. They're not. They're going to drop back and just show 4. And they get the sack. It's a fumble. The ball's on the floor. Let's see if the Saints recovered it. And they're saying the Saints did recover it. It is Saints football. I said, let's see if they come up with a turnover. And the Saints do that. Wow. Wow. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. This defensive line, genuinely, they have come up with the goods every single second today. And right there was Big Nate Shepard getting in there, knocking the football loose. And it looks like Chase Young was the man to dive on it. Go figure. Hell yes. Now we can talk about it. Touchdown here ends the game. Genuinely, touchdown here ends the game. This is a chance to get a kill shot here if you're the Saints. So let's see if they take advantage. But awesome stuff from the Saints defensive line, man. They have come up big every chance today. They're feasting. Really, I see. How can you not get excited about stuff like this? And I know, it's against the Jets, but like, you want to see your team string together good football. And goddamn, Brandon Staley is coaching his ass off. I honestly think we could make moves in free agency. Players may look at New Orleans like a spot. Staley has his defense cooking. Shuck is looking good. Kellen's calling games well. Future's looking great. It has to start somewhere, man. Has to start somewhere. Shep's quietly been good. Dude, Nathan Shepard's been awesome. That's a great call, Robert. Nate Shepard, if we just want to go by the numbers, all right? Because let's just go through them. He had 1.5 sacks last year. He's got 3 this year. He's got more tackles this year than last year. He's been great. This is his best season as a Saint. Mind you, I believe it's on a pay cut. He's been really good. Saints defense right now as a whole. Alontae Taylor's got a sack today. Cam Jordan's got 2. Nate Shepard's got 1. Isaiah Stallbird's got 1. So 5 sacks right now as a team. 7 tackles for loss. And there's still a lot of this fourth quarter left to play. So really good opportunity here for this defense to get themselves a couple more big plays. Glad I showed up. Normally I listen on the radio, but this is so much better. Feels more animated, and I get to read chat during commercials. Man, I appreciate you coming in. Really appreciate you coming in. That's my favorite part about this. Obviously, I love talking Saints. I love watching the games and reacting, but I love chatting with you guys. You know, it's fun to discuss this. You know, we had a lot of misery early in this season. A lot of us talking about L's and this rebuilding, and me sitting here yelling about Kellen Moore and why he's not doing things right. And look, man, the Saints have won 3 out of their last 5 games. They win today as 4 out of their last 6. And the rebuild has to start somewhere. And it doesn't just start with drafting. It starts with getting results on the field. And right now they're doing it. And I can't help but get excited. Another news, Trevor Petting's playing like dog shit. I have to watch. Saints going with an end around of Mason Tipton on first down. Tipton's going to break a tackle. Tipton's going to get all the way to the Jets 33 or 34. Big first play. Kellen Moore is legitimately cooking. He's legitimately cooking right now. This is crazy. No sports void. If you get into LSU baseball, highly recommend. I should. You know what? I actually should get into college baseball. So I grew up a Yankee fan. So MLB is like the only baseball I watched. But SEC baseball seems like the coolest thing in the world. So I really got to get into it. Had a lot of negative Saints fans this year. Thanks for trying to keep our head straight. I was one of those negative fans, and I apologize, guys, but they're playing great. Saints going with a handoff here to left side of Taysom Hill. He's going to pick up 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up. Chris, how we doing today? Doing great, man. Doing great. Touchdown drive right here, and I'll feel even better. You do great with the telecast. Great work. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And shout out to Lala behind the board doing everything for us here as well at Boo Crew. She's been fantastic. I think Cam and DeMario deserve a ton of credit. You don't have a team with a record like this playing this hard without veteran leadership. Those guys are the culture. Yeah. Couldn't agree more. I mean, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. They could have mailed it in. You're 2-10, could have mailed it in. 2nd and 8. Saints operating from the Jets 32. Shuck's looking towards the left. He's throwing deep. And this one is going to sail incomplete. 3rd and 8 coming up. 3rd and 8 coming up. This is the internet. This is where negativity comes to showcase. It does. And I'm guilty of it often, you know? And a lot of it is just the fandom aspect because I want to see the Saints win, man. I talk about it all the time. Like, I get it. Having a high draft pick's cool, but I see the Jets pick top 5 every year, and they're back there every time. It's like, it doesn't always work. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Yep. Hoping everyone enjoys the holiday season, guys. Really hope everyone enjoys it. And hopefully the Saints can get us a win going into Christmas. It'd be pretty awesome. 3rd and 8 from the 32. Let's see if Tyler Shuck can have some third down magic. Jets are bringing pressure. Shuck steps up, throws it over the middle of the field, incomplete. And the Saints are going to have to settle for a field goal. So rough time there. I mean, could have had the kill shot. Field goal still would be pretty good here for the Saints if they could tack on points. We'll see if Charlie Smith can get the job done. Yeah, Lala's the unsung hero for Boot Crew Media. I can't stress it enough. Shuck's going to finish with 50 attempts. I mean, yeah. Where are we at right now on that, actually? Pull that up. It's at 42. Yeah. Here's Charlie Smith's attempt from 50. It is up, and it is good. So Charlie Smith redeeming himself there. He is 4 of 5 on the day. I'll take the 3 points. You know what? JGPR saying it. I'll take the 3 as well. Feels like at least for Charlie Smith, a little bit of a redemption kick right there after missing the 61-yarder, stepping up and hitting a 50-yarder. So Saints up 19-6. And now, yet again, up double digits. Jets at some point can't just keep running out the clock. They're going to have to throw the ball if they want to win this one. And I think this is a great opportunity. We've been waiting for the Saints to have that interception. There's no better time than right now. Pass rush has really gotten after Brady Cook. Maybe he'll kind of have quick feet. Maybe that makes him rush a throw. If there's a time for the Saints to have a pick, it's on this drive. Will it happen? I don't know. But I think this is the moment here. This is the moment for the Saints defense. You want that huge play. I know they just had a turnover, but you want that electrifying, interception. I think it's the moment. Could easily see like a throw over the middle, sail it over. Sanker comes with a pick. Be pretty awesome. I agree. I hate the tanking mentality fan bases get into. Feels like if you root for losing, you eventually just get to use losing. Yeah. So everyone likes to say winning's contagious, and it is. Losing's contagious too. When you lose so much, eventually the locker room, all they know is the losing. And all they know is, we don't get to play meaningful games in November. We don't get to play meaningful games in December. I'm sorry. Even if there's no playoff implications, games can be meaningful in December. I do think it's meaningful that the Saints went into Tampa Bay and beat the Bucs. I think it's meaningful that the Panthers came into last week knowing had they beat the Saints, today would have been a win and get in. And they lost. And the Saints had every reason down 17-7 to pack it in, and they didn't do it. 2 weeks ago in a monsoon against Tampa, could have packed it in. They didn't do it. I think there's something to be said about that. And I do believe if the Saints finish this season with 6 wins, let's say, there will be a little bit of a confidence build going into the offseason of, hey, Kellen Moore with a really bad roster figured things out. Brandon Staley got this defense cooking. Your rookie quarterback looked really good. You have your left tackle of the future in Kelvin Banks. You got some really nice young DBs in Jonas Sanker and Quincy Riley. Kool-Aid had a really good year too. I know we're frustrated with the tackles, but in terms of coverage, Kool-Aid's done his job. So the Saints have some building blocks. They're going to have money to spend. We're so used to the Saints being 60 million, 70 million over the cap. They're going to be less than 10 at this rate. So they'll have money to spend. They'll still have a top 10 draft pick most likely. And who knows? Maybe you throw a Carnell Tate from Ohio State into this, and I think you got an opportunity there. Jerry G in the building. Much love to you, Chris from Jerry G. What's going on? Love Jerry, man. Love Jerry. Jerry deserves a lot of credit because so I said I was negative earlier this year with the Saints. Jerry's always thinking positive, and I'd like to think he kind of manifested this little late season turnaround that the Saints have had. Got to get Shuck above 300 and get a lobby the 1 yard. I know. Well, no better time than if they could force a turnover here. Jets on the kick return. They're getting a pretty good return here, and they're going to bring it all the way to the 39. There is a flag. Got to imagine they'll be on the Jets, and that should back them up if it is. We'll see what happens. Wow, this is weird. If the score stays the same, it'll be the 5th time in the last 19 games that the Saints have scored 19 points. Weird stat from Jeff Duncan, but you know what? Oh, wow. So it's going to be on the Saints. All right. Illegal hands to the face. I don't think I've ever seen illegal hands to the face on a kickoff before. But there it is. Please get another touchdown by the end of the game. It'd be good for optics. I don't disagree. I always come back to it, and I'll always keep saying it. Drew Brees always says, if you score 24 points, you got a chance to win every game. And I always was like, man, it just doesn't make any sense. There's going to be shootouts. But you know what? Saints score 24 today, they're going to win. 24 last week would have won them the game. It ends up happening more often than you think. And who am I to question the GOAT? Jets going with a quick throw to start first down, and they are going to get past midfield. So quick response on first down for the Jets. If you get used to tanking and losing, you turn into New York. Yeah, that's fair. So let's bring that up, actually. I want to bring up the last couple of drafts because I think it's worth mentioning. The Jaguars have the number 1 pick in 2021 as the Jets get a first down here on a Breece Hall run. They get to the Jets 44, so a gain of 5. Jacksonville had the first pick in 2021, and they still had the first pick in 2022. Browns had the first pick in 2017 and then 2018. Still ended up doing nothing, to be quite honest. Cardinals had the number 1 pick with Kyler Murray 2019. Really didn't do much. And then look at the teams that are picking high again this year. Browns picking high. Cardinals picking high. So I don't know, man. Losing is contagious. I've seen the Jets be miserable my whole life, pretty much. Outside of 2 years with Mark Sanchez, and that's about it. 1st and 10 for the Jets. From the 43, they're going to motion Williams. It's going to be play action. Brady Cook's looking towards the right. He's rolling right. He's going to throw it across the field and ends up being incomplete. It looks like that was deflected. See, look, this is a graphic right here for the Jets. Puts it into picture. 15 straight seasons missing the playoffs. But I'm telling you, when the Jets traded Sauce Gardner and they traded Quinn Williams, all their freaking fans were like, oh, we got draft picks. What does that get you? What does that get you? Draft picks are good on paper, but you got to build a roster and you got to build a culture. Because even when the Jets would get their picks right, they weren't building the culture. They were still losing these games. 2nd and 10 coming up. Still from the 43. See if the Saints defensive line can once again come up big. Looks like they're kind of showing pressure. They might back out of it, though. And the Jets are going to go with a run to the right side with Breece Hall, and he is going to pick up about 4 yards. So 3rd down coming up. I think it's do or die time now for the Jets anyway. You're not kicking a field goal here. Even if you don't get it, you're going for it on 4th down. 9:30 to go in this 4th quarter. Man, really a shame the Saints weren't able to capitalize on the pick before. It felt like that was just a quick drive. But yeah, still got points. 3rd and 6. Brady Cook takes a snap. It was pretty low. He's looking over the middle of the field. That ball is batted up in the air, and it's incomplete. That was the chance for a pick. That was the chance for the pick. We talked about it before. 4th down, Jets should go for it, and I believe they will. Oh, man. The Eagles are a rare case, though. And I say the Eagles, what I love about them is they don't do what everyone else does. They'll draft Wentz. He'll play well. Starts to struggle. They'll draft Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts struggles in 2 years from now. Wouldn't be shocked if they draft another quarterback. They are not afraid to get risky. And they, you know what? They say like fortune favors the bold, and the Eagles are pretty bold when it comes to their moves. 4th and 6. Jets are going for it. Saints are trying to bring pressure. They don't get it. And it's intercepted. It's intercepted by Jonas Sanker. Jonas Sanker is going to take this one down the field all the way inside Jets territory. Oh, my. I literally just said before I could see a pick to Jonas Sanker. I got to play the lotto today. I have to play the lotto today. I got to do it. It has to be done. I have no other choice. Jonas Sanker with an interception, and the Jets turn it over yet again, and the Saints are in great position to put the Jets out of their misery. Really good read by Jonas Sanker. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Starting to think Kool-Aid might be turning into a player. I think he is. I think he is. The secondary, look, man, the secondary is awesome stuff. Oh, also shout out to whoever had the bet on Brady Cook to throw a pick, because you just cashed. So shout out to you. Saints are going play action on 1st down. Shuck's going to step up. He is going to be sacked. And it will be 2nd and 10. Hopefully Shuck's all right. Looks a little gimpy right now. Let's see the hit there. That would be the worst possible situation for the Saints would be for him to get banged up a little bit. It looked a little awkward. Hopefully he's all right. Holding his right knee a little bit. 2nd and 10. Estimate in the backfield. Saints looking to get points off their 2nd straight turnover on defense. Olave's in motion. He's got 99 yards. He needs 5 more. He's going to go to Jawan. Jawan's going to make a spin move there and gain 8 yards. So 7 or 8 yards, excuse me. Saints are going to have a 3rd and short. Just look, Jets fans are happier than us about the pick. I don't get it, man. I'm sorry. Like, Jets fans are happy over this nonsense. Man, Shuck got lit the freaking hell up. 3rd and 3. Just under 8 minutes to go. Saints are operating from the Jets 37. I'd love to see the Saints think 4 down territory here, but we'll see. They're going to go with a run. Estimate should plow forward with the first down. He will. Saints will get it to the Jets 32. Would love, and you guys talked about it, would love for optics. Touchdown here. Get yourself over the 24-point mark. We'll get yourself to 26. Would love it for the optics standpoint. No doubt about it. Cha-ching, baby. Good bet, man. That's a good bet. I like it. 1st and 10. Gonna motion out Stoll. Looks like they got, let's see if they got Taysom lined up at halfback. They're going to go with a pitch to Taysom off to the right side. He's going to cut back to the middle of the field, and he is going to get tackled after a 1-yard gain. Fred saying, holy fuck, can we get a late hit? Yeah, I don't know how the hell we're not calling that, man. I don't know how we're not calling that. Hopefully Shuck's all right. We don't want to see him get hurt in a game where Saints are clearly in control here. 6:40 to go. At this point, you just want to play clean football. We got the wave going on in the Superdome. And it's gaining traction. Wow. Nice to see the Saints fans doing the wave in a game that they're in control in, you know? It's been a while. 2nd and 9. They're going to go play action. Shuck's looking right. He's going to throw this one pretty low, though. Didn't have any options, so it goes incomplete. 3rd and 9 coming up. What is the tracker on Shuck pass attempts? What are we at now? We are at 45 pass attempts. 45 of them. All right. So 3rd and 9. Saints still at the Jets 31. Would love to get a first down here. Keep the clock moving. Reward your defense. Let's see. Wouldn't be surprised if the Jets bring pressure here. It's going to go underneath to Olave. Olave is going to pick up the first down, and he fumbled. Oh, boy. So Olave picks up the first down, but it comes at the price of a fumble. He's saying he's down by contact. We'll see what happens. Olave is over 1,000 yards on the season, but that would be an anticlimactic way. It would be the perfect Chris Olave way to do it. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, we're going to need another angle there. If CBS has another angle, this should show it. I actually think he might be down by contact. We'll see. It's a good angle, and I think he might be down by contact. We'll see. And yes, it will be. So, all right. Good call by the refs. Good job turning it around. And Olave is over 1,000 yards. Aaron Glenn's challenging it at this point. You know, got to do what he's got to do. So Olave back to being an 1,000-yard receiver. He's now done that 3 times in his first 4 NFL seasons. His career high is 1123. At this rate, he should break it. So really awesome stuff. Really awesome stuff. So looks like the Jets are challenging. I think he's down. I think it's kind of like a bang-bang play where his elbow hits and then the ball immediately comes out after. And in my opinion, if the ruling is he's down, I just don't see how it ends up being a fumble. So I don't know. Maybe we'll be wrong, but that's just kind of where I'm at. Would be an awesome conversion for the Saints, though. Would keep the drive moving. Would really put yourself in a good spot, obviously. Whether it's close, but who the hell knows what the refs do? Yeah, I agree. Would be a really good drive for the Saints. Would chew up probably another couple minutes. All right, so they're saying the call on the field stands. So the challenge is no good for the Jets. Nothing's good for the Jets these days, and the Saints are going to keep this drive moving. You better be, or I'm breaking my TV. Well, your TV lives to see another day. Close, but who the hell knows what the rest will do? Well, thankfully, no shenanigans there. Saints keep it moving. They're in the red zone. How about another drive? You know what? I don't want to be that like stat patter type guy, but hey, Shuck throws another touchdown pass. His rookie of the year candidacy gets a little bit stronger. Just saying. Just saying. And if the Saints go on to win this, funny enough, they'd actually be 4-3 with Shuck. So they have a winning record this season with him in there, which would be pretty cool. Would be pretty cool stuff. Looking elsewhere around the league. I know you guys said Panthers, Bucks tied at 20. Guessing that's late in the fourth, but we'll check after. 1st and 10. Saints are from their own 20, from the Jets 20, excuse me. Mason Tipton's in motion. They're going to do a little bit of a just dump off pass to Tipton. Tipton's going to cut up and get 2 yards. It's a little pop pass to Mason Tipton on 1st down. Saints have really, there's a variety being shown here today. And I would say even Mason Tipton, who's not really a true playmaker. I think special teams, he's done a good job when given the opportunity. He's going to finish this game with around like 4 catches, about 40 yards from scrimmage. Not a bad game for him. Saints on a winning streak. Cowboys getting those cheeks clapped. All is right. See, I'll put it the other way. Dallas has nothing to play for today, right? I think that I think Dallas, they get eliminated from playoff contention yesterday. They don't have anything to play for today. They look like a team that, frankly, is just like ready to go into the offseason. So, I don't know. I think that's why I want to give the credit to the Saints with the way they've played. And it's not just beating bad teams. It's also the way they've done it, Like they're beating the Jets, but they're beating them soundly, defensively, just making the big plays. It's just cool to see. Were you in Jets or Giants territory as a kid? I would say I know more Jets fans. That's what I would say. But obviously, growing up, the Giants are a better team. Chuck, play fake, going deep. He's got Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill with a touchdown. Taysom Hill with a touchdown. There is a flag. Hopefully this doesn't come back. Let's see what the call is. Seems like it's on the Jets, considering the Saints are celebrating, but we shall see. And it looks like it will be on the Saints. So we're bringing it back. Great play call, though. Awesome play call. Went with the fake toss. Yep, that's a hold. I mean, it is what it is. And the worst part is it was an unnecessary hold because Shuck's rolling to the right. He's not going to get hit. It's a hold, but it's an unnecessary one, and that's frustrating. So 2nd 18, Saints are going to back it up now. Look, man, wouldn't it be cool if Shuck wins Rookie of the Year? I'm just saying. And I think it's a possibility. I genuinely think so because Dart's the leader, and Dart's having the worst game of the season right now. And Shuck is a couple plays away and a drive away from getting the Saints to a 3rd straight win. Saints are going to put Olave in motion. Shuck takes a snap. He's looking left. He's throwing this one deep. He wants Taysom again, and it is incomplete. Shuck got lit up yet again. See, this is what we don't want, though. Shuck is taking a beating. I will say, this is probably one of the worst games Kelvin Banks has had. Kelvin Banks is, quite frankly, just getting pushed around the block. God damn, Shuck got lit up. All right, hopefully he's all right. 3rd and 18 for the Saints. We'll see what they do. Could be aggressive. Could try to just gain yards and make the field goal more manageable. I'd like to see them be aggressive, though. And they're going to go with something underneath. Taysom's going to get down to around the 20. So it's an easier field goal attempt. Stinks that the Saints have to get 6 taken off the board by a flag. But Charlie Smith should be able to come in here and get the job done. We'll see. So we'll see what happens with this call. Charlie Smith from 39. He's already hit 4 today. His only misses from 61. The 39-yard attempt is up, and it is good. Shout out to you if you played Charlie Smith in your fantasy playoffs today. Because the man's balling. No other way around it, right? Saints defense, and then Charlie Smith might win some people their fantasy leagues, honestly. So 22-6. Saints defense been doing their job. Do we sit Shuck rest of the game to avoid injury? No. I mean, look, if the Saints get a stop here, I think the Saints will probably just run it like 3 times. And look, it's part of the game, right? You're going to get banged up. You're going to take some hits. He's a tough dude. Took a lot of hits last week. You just don't want to see it at this stage in the game because the game does feel out of reach. I know it's still a 2-possession game, but Jets need 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions to tie. So we'll see. I think if you get a stop here, you're probably just running it. You're probably just running it at this point. Jets should give us another pick for the hell of it. Man, I'll say this about the Jets. The Jets better hope. They better hope that the Giants lose. The Giants beat the Raiders next week because the Giants lose to the Raiders next week. If the Raiders get the number 1 pick, they're not going to trade out. They're going to take a quarterback. They'll probably take Fernando Mendoza. And the Jets clearly like Mendoza. They've been to like 5 of his Indiana games already. They've been scouting him like crazy. And if the Jets went on this tank fest and got rid of Quinn and Williams and got rid of Gardner and it's all for not getting quarterback, it'd be a mistake. Jets are going to go with a screen pass on first down, and the Saints, specifically Justin Reed and Cam Jordan, read that one easily. Giants versus Raiders, holy tank bowl. I know. Big time. Big time tank bowl right there. Second down, Brady Cook's throwing to the right, and it is going to be complete. Justin Reed was trying to make the play right there. So 3rd and manageable for the Jets. 4.5 to go. Saints on the verge of winning 3 in a row with Kellen Moore. 3rd and 6. Brady Cook takes a snap. Saints are bringing delayed pressure. Alontae Taylor ends up rushing. He misses Brady Cook. Brady Cook's going to roll to the left, and he is sacked. Another sack for the New Orleans Saints. Holy crap. This defense has been relentless. Brady Cook is getting his ass kicked. And the Saints defense is a play away from just pitching a shutout in this second half. And that's crazy because Alontae Taylor missed it. And look, this is the reality. Jets fans can sit there and they can want their tank and their picks. You don't want to watch this type of football where you don't have a quarterback because Brady Cook is not an NFL quarterback. All due respect with him, he's not. 4th and 13. Saints have 6 sacks. Let's see if they can make it a 7th one coming up right here. Looks like they're showing pressure with Pete Werner. They're going to back out of it, still sending 4. Brady Cook's going deep. He's got a man. He'll get the first down, and they'll bring it inside Saints territory at the 42. So best throw of the game for the Jets, best completion of the game for the Jets, and they'll keep their hopes of tying this game slightly alive. Good route by A.D. Mitchell, though, who was part of a throwaway. He was kind of a throwaway in that Jets-Colts deal with Sauce Gardner. 1st and 10. Jets at the Saints 43. Brady Cook's going to take the shotgun snap. He's going to look right. He's going to throw this one deep, pick that off. It's going to be incomplete. Quincy Riley was in coverage. Looks like Shepard was in on the pressure. D-line's making plays, man. The D-line is making plays. So it's going to be 2nd and 10. A.D. Mitchell going to the sideline. Cook got plenty. He did. D-line is making plays, man. They're making plays. Wouldn't be shocked if they got one more in him. Takes a snap. He's looking towards the left, and it is incomplete. Looks like that ball kind of bounced off the turf. So, yeah, Saints are in a position right now, even if they get the stop here, you can just turn it around, hand off the ball, and take your 3rd straight win. If they are able to get the stop, obviously. You want to just officially end this game. Oh, wow. Corner reports Gardner Minshew likely suffered a torn ACL. I don't think I've ever seen starting quarterback and then the backup also get hurt. Like, that's crazy. In the same manner. Wow. 3rd and 10. Brady Cook in the shotgun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. He's looking right. He's throwing right, and that ball is batted away. Let's see if a flag comes in, and there is no flag. So Jonas Sanker making damn plays, man. What an awesome game for Jonas Sanker. Olado can protect your knees, bro. Honestly, at this rate, I mean, it's crazy. That's just crazy. Have your two quarterbacks tear their ACL. I don't remember ever hearing that. Like in back-to-back weeks too. Cam Sack would be great here. Would be an awesome finish here. 4th and 10, essentially the last chance here for the Jets. Take the snap. They're bringing pressure. They're going all out. And Chase Young with the sack. And that is going to be the finishing touches for this Saints defense. Their 7th sack of the game. Chase Young just continues to play at a freaking Pro Bowl level. What a freaking game from this defense. What a performance from the Saints defensive line, honestly. Pitching a damn shutout in the second half. Wow. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. GG's is right. The Saints are going to win 3 in a row. Look, man, these are considered meaningless games in terms of playoff implications. They're not meaningless if you put in the work, and the Saints have done just that. And now the Saints have the privilege of just kind of running out the clock here, if they so choose to. Man, what an awesome performance. Cam Jordan with 2 sacks. Alontae Taylor came up big. Chris Rumpf came up big. Nate Shepard came up big. Chase Young came up big. Probably missing someone else as well. But, man, this is an awesome showing. Awesome showing. Really cool stuff, man. I can't say enough good things about Brandon Staley and the job he's done this season. Because he's been awesome. And I remember in the beginning of the year, I was like, man, I don't know about the hire. No, he's been great. 2nd down, Saints going with Taysom off to the right side. He gets stuffed. So that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Saints need 1 more first down to end this game officially. And I've got to imagine they might just keep it on the ground, but wouldn't mind if they just get a little aggressive here and just air it out one more time. Really can't say enough good things about the job Brandon Staley's done. He's been awesome. Saints and Pelicans both on a winning streak. Let's buy a lotto ticket. Honestly, starting a winning culture. This is how it starts, though. Like, you got to get some momentum somewhere, and the Saints are starting to do that. This is what you should do against a dumpster fire team like the Jets. Handled business, trending up. Yep. And I'm going to be honest, guys. It's the way they've won. And let's be real. Were any of you guys nervous in this second half? And that probably says more about the Jets than it does say the Saints, right? It really does. Because you say the Jets are a dumpster fire. Couldn't agree more. It says more about the Jets. But there was not a moment in this second half where it's like, man, I don't know about the Saints. I don't know. Like, they're a little shaky. Nope. It felt like a win the whole way through. Genuinely, you know? Shout out to the Jets fans that traveled to NOLA. That's dedication for a 3-win team. On the bright side, I mean, NOLA is such an awesome. I love, like, I'm sorry. I don't know how people do it year round with the food there because it is so freaking good. I think I would just be stuffing my face with food nonstop. So at least Jets fans can do that after this game's over. There's no better place to probably eat your sorrows away than New Orleans because the food is just outstanding. Saints just add some weapons to this team during the offseason. I think that's the goal. Obviously, I think you want to add a little bit more juice to the defense as well. But I would say this about the defense, all right? Chase Young is still firmly entering the prime of his career. Kool-Aid could get better. Quincy Riley could get better. Jonas Sanker could get better. Danny Stutzman should get better. Like, they have young talent that should step up. What do you do with Alontae in free agency? I think that's a question mark. I could see them bringing him back. And quite frankly, Alontae's balled out. He's balled out, especially over the last couple of weeks. So he's earned it. So I like where this team's trending. Love this comment from Xavier. Shuck through 49 times and no interceptions. Got to be talked about. For real. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I mean, your rookie quarterback. And let's be real. I don't think he had a throw where I'm like, oh, that might be picked off. Like, there was none of those. He's got to be in the offensive rookie of the year conversation. And that probably says a little bit more about this year's class, right? I think that's what it probably says more about. But, and you know what? You guys mentioned the Jets. Jets don't force turnovers, so that's probably it too. But, confidence builder to say, hey, we don't have a run game, but we're going to just probably let our quarterback air it out X amount of times, and he delivers. And I think that's just awesome stuff. So 3rd and 5. Saints got Taysom lined up, and they're going to let Taysom throw it. He's going to go deep. He's got a wide open Olave, and Olave with a touchdown, and the Saints with a garbage time touchdown to put this one out of reach. Chris Olave wide the F open. Just love to see it. And hey, we talked about it. You got to be a little bit more. We got to be a little bit more unpredictable with Taysom. What a turnaround, by the way, for Kellen Moore. Has gone from, I don't know what's going to go on, and then boom. We're talking trick plays. We're talking everything. And the Saints are going to score 29 points today. And you know what? I actually think this is more indicative of the way they played. They had a lot of miscues in the red zone. We talked about it last drive. They had the Taysom touchdown that got called back. You know what? Like, they've earned themselves this. And honestly, shout out to Taysom. I ragged on him earlier today. And he really stepped up. He really stepped up. And I thought he was great in the second half. Great to see the Saints having fun out there. I agree. I love it. That's the confusion we need with Taysom. Yeah, you got to keep it unpredictable. And obviously, that was the case there. I mean, look at Olave. He was just like wide open down the field. And Olave's going to finish this game with 10 catches for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. Unreal. Unreal, man. Just feeling good. Baker pick LL Panthers going to win. I just saw that. That makes me happy too. I'm going to be quite honest. I'm not rooting for NFC South teams, like F the rest of the division. But if I had to pick one like that, I'd rather win. I'd rather see the Panthers win. I can't stand Baker Mayfield. And I don't know. I don't mind seeing them lose 7 out of their last 9. That's just how I'm at. And also, by the way, if this was Taysom Hill's swan song, that's pretty cool for his final drive. Let's say this was his last Saints home game, and I don't know if it is. I'm just speculating. If that was Taysom Hill's last Saints home game, what an awesome way for him to get it done. You know, we might be the best division might be the best team in this division next year. I keep saying it, and I don't think it's. I don't think it's a stretch. I don't think it's a stretch today to say that today, you know? Shador has Shuck's stats today. Media would be calling him the GOAT. I said it earlier this week. I was watching TikTok, and there was these 4 guys. Like, they seem to have a nice podcast, but they were talking about which teams need a quarterback. And they went to the Browns like, no, it's Shador. And they went to the Saints like, yes, they need to draft a quarterback. And I was like, what games are we watching? And this isn't a Shador thing, because I actually do think, like, you know, you can make an argument that the Browns should try to, if they don't like a quarterback in this class, just give it one more year with Shador. But Shuck has been dealing. He's been dealing. I think he's, quite frankly, the best rookie quarterback right now. And I think it'd be a shame if the Saints moved on, and they're not going to. And the reason they're not going to anyway is because he's played them out of it, because he's been good enough. So you're right, though. It's crazy to think the media kind of picks and chooses who they want to prop up. 3rd and 6. Brady Cook is sacked again. He is sacked again. This time I think it was Jonah Williams. And I think it was nice play right there from Jonah Williams. He gets involved in the sack party. A lot going on today. Shuck was the right quarterback for this team. Yep. He was. I feel bad for Brady Cook, man. He's taking a freaking beating. 4th and 7. This is officially the game, and it is, it should have been a pick 6. It ends up being a catch for a first down. Oh, what happened on Alante Taylor there? That should have been a pick. Got to see that one again, man. See what else you guys put in the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to catch up with some things you guys have said. You have no shot unless you got coach and quarterback correct. We may have actually pulled it off. I mean, that's the feeling, man. Don't think the Saints should go all in next year. Make improvements just responsibly. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Because that 2027 cap space is nuts. So if you work it out well, this is the way I view it. Next year, I want it to be the contend for the division year. The year after that, you get to spend more money. That should be the, if you take that step and you are contending for the division in 2026, then the 2027 season is a contending season NFC wise if you build the roster correctly. So that's the way I view it. And I don't know. I think that should be the blueprint. That should be the blueprint for sure. And we'll see if it is. 3rd down, 10 seconds left. The Saints are going to win 3 straight games. I think that's 4 out of the last 6. They're going deep. That one's incomplete. This thing is over. And the Saints will improve to 5-10. Again, long way to go. Long way to go. But a win is a win. The Saints blew the Jets out of the water. It feels good, man. It feels good to see this team take the right steps. And today is another example of that. You beat the crap out of the Jets in the dome. It's good stuff, man. They're slowly but surely getting there. They're slowly but surely building a winning culture. So awesome stuff. Another Victory Monday coming up. Just, how can you not be happy, man? We have this version of Tyler Shuck the first half of the season where 10 wins. Honestly, I don't even want to go there, but like, here's the thing, right? He's played so well that you got to imagine with a better supporting cast, they're going to get there. So let's get into it, guys. Let's get into this. Game's officially over. Let's get into our post game and let's talk things out. The Saints were supposed to win today. And I said last week when the Saints beat the Bucs and the Panthers and you win those games, you play spoiler. When you play against the Jets, because of the way you played the last 2 weeks, the expectation isn't just to win. The expectation is that you got to get it done. And it's got to look good enough. I think had the Saints won today on a last minute field goal against a bad Jets team, I'd be like, I don't know. Like it's a win, but it feels like those Derek Carr end of season wins, those Dennis Allen end of season wins where you got the job done, but it's like you barely got by. That wasn't the case. The Saints dominated the Jets today. And what I loved about this game was even though they were only up 9-6 at halftime, they were clearly the better team in the first half. They just didn't capitalize. And then in the second half, you shut them out 20-0 to win 29-6. And it's the manner in which the way the Saints did it today. The Saints did it today by dominating on all fronts. The defensive line was truly incredible. When you go out there and you sack the opposing quarterback 8 times, you're going to win the football game. And on the flip side, Kellen Moore, talk about making the most of what you have. The Saints run game wasn't great today. It was Audric Estime and Evan Hull as your lead backs coming into today. So what does he do? Taysom Hill, 12 carries for 42 yards, making the most out of it. And you know what he also does? If it's not working, he wasn't just going to run it just for the sake of running it. He decides, hey, let's throw it with Tyler Shuck. And Tyler Shuck, 308 yards passing, a touchdown, no turnovers. And I think that's a testament to him as well. Your rookie quarterback threw it 49 times, and he didn't have an interception. So your rookie quarterback delivered. Taysom Hill had maybe his best game, which is crazy to say because Taysom Hill had a fumble on the opening drive, and I was ready to say bench him. And he stepped up. Kellen Moore made good adjustments. Chris Olave and Jawan Johnson, stellar performances from them. Jawan had 89 yards receiving. Chris Olave had 148 and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, I mean, everyone stepped up. Cam Jordan was great. Alante Taylor was great. DeMario made plays. Nathan Shepard was awesome. Chase Young came up big. Jonas Sanker came up big. Kool-Aid McKinstry was great. A lot of good stuff today for the Saints. And again, one win over the Jets doesn't fix everything. It doesn't. But this is 3 wins in a row now. 3 wins in a row for Kellen Moore. 4 out of the last 6. They've won 4 out of the last 6 games. And the manner in which they're doing it is impressive because there are things that will carry over to next year. Your DC has been phenomenal, to be quite honest. You know, your rookie quarterback continues to get better. Your wide receiver 1 is stepping up in big ways now. So, I don't know. I love what the Saints are doing. I think that you got to start somewhere with this team. And I think when you win games and it's with the pieces that are going to be part of the 2026 roster, how can you not be happy? And I'm sorry. I know the Saints have played their way out of the top 5, and there's some prospects they're not going to be able to draft now. But you know what? It's more important they build a culture. It's more important that they continue to stack wins. And I'll just say this, right? The Saints are now 4-3 since starting Tyler Shuck. If they continue to play this way in a really bad NFC South, why can't we talk about them as potentially being a division contender next year? And I'm not saying to win anything crazy. I'm not talking Super Bowl. I'm not talking playoff wins. I'm just talking the NFC South is not very good. And the Saints are 4-3 with Shuck as their quarterback. Why can't they next year, if they build this roster a little bit better, add more playmakers, maybe add a little bit more juice to the front 7 of the defense? Why can't they make a run at the NFC South next season? That's the step. And to me, the fact that we're going to finish this season with me going, man, this is a really, really good rookie class. I feel like the Saints could take that step and win the NFC South next year. I'll take that feeling over, all right, we're picking top 5 and let's hope that Mickey Loomis gets the pick right. I'll take that feeling every day of the week. So I view it as a plus. I'm really happy about the way the Saints have played. So let me get into some comments you guys have. It's your boy X says, I'll take this feeling over a couple spots in the draft order any day. Yep. I will too, man. I will too. I think that there's something to be said about it. The way they're winning, they're not just winning these games on a fluke. Okay. They went out and beat the Bucks in a monsoon. They went and beat the Panthers, erasing a 10-point second half deficit. And then they beat the absolute piss out of the New York Jets today. So I just think that there's something to be said. Now you play the Titans next week. Another good opportunity to win another game, 4 in a row maybe. Like these are things the Saints are starting to change the narrative a little bit. You know, the Saints look like the automatic win for a lot of teams. It isn't that's not the case anymore. So it's just awesome stuff. Annoying that Chuck's second touchdown was called back for holding. He deserved a multiple touchdown game for how hard he plays. He did. But you know what? I'll just say this. You know, a lot of people are going to view the stats, and some of them might be like, oh, he had 1 touchdown pass. Nah, I don't give a shit, man. Chuck played really well today. Didn't put the ball in harm's way. Threw the ball 49 times without having a turnover. I think that is so awesome to see. I think the Saints, I think right now, will he be the franchise guy? I don't know. Do I feel like he has the potential to be the franchise guy? 1,000%. 1,000%. Like, because it's what he's showing. It's what he's doing. Robert says, congrats to AG on choosing the Jets. They can have each other. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to say this too, because a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I don't like the Saints are winning games at this point in the season. Fuck you if you think that, honestly. Because do you want to be the Jets? Do you want to be the Jets right now? Let me tell you, let me give you a spoiler. It doesn't matter who the Jets draft next season. The Jets are going to stink because the Jets culture is losing. That's the Jets culture. If Kellen Moore keeps coaching like this, I'm going to start to think that he might be a good coach. And I already feel really good about the quarterback. And I feel really, really freaking good about the DC. So Saints, you know, it's easy. It's easy to be like 5-10, season was a waste. No, it's not going to be a waste. If they're building and we feel like this team is taking that next step, this will go down as a successful season. It really will. I mean, the Saints, honestly, we'll see what the odds are tomorrow morning when they change it. The Saints might end up having the offensive rookie of the year. Honestly, like coming into today, I think Shuck was 3rd or 4th. The guy who was leading in the offensive rookie of the year race was horrendous today. He was horrendous. There's a chance Shuck ends up stealing that award, and you go into 2026 with the offensive rookie of the year, a coach who was really building on the fly, and Brandon Staley, who, look, I don't know if he's a good head coach. He didn't look like a good one with the Chargers. The man is a good DC. He really is. So I love what this team's doing. I'm glad we didn't move Olave at the deadline. I think he's been huge for Shuck's development. He's been really, really good. And I'll say this about Chris Olave. I don't know what the number is going to end up being. I do think the Saints should keep him. And the reason I say that is, you know what? This is a really bad wide receiver group. And maybe Olave doesn't look like a one, but I think it is impressive that he clearly has to be the focal point for other defenses. When you're going through your meetings, you're probably saying, all right, Olave's the guy that could beat us. And yet, like, he continues to step up for the Saints every single time. So I really like what the Saints are getting out of him. I think that they have a serious, a really, really dependable wide receiver there in him. And I don't know. I think that right now, in this moment, I would pay him. I don't know what the number is going to be. I know there's probably concern about whatever that number would be, but I think that Olave has deserved a raise for sure. And if I just go over what he's done, there's a lot of good, and a lot of that good is with Shuck. 104 yards and a touchdown against the Panthers, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns today. Last week, 85 yards and a touchdown against the Dolphins. It's funny, at 47 yards and a touchdown, if he catches that game-winning pass, we're talking about the Saints winning 5 in a row. We're talking about the Saints being 6-9. Like, so yes, there are deficiencies with Olave, but I also believe that he has really stepped up at times. So I'm proud of how he played. I thought he was really good. When you're rebuilding a team, this is what you want to see in terms of what the future can hold. Either next year or the year after, the Saints will win the NFC South. I kind of feel that way as well. I think start somewhere. You got to build, and I don't think it's a fluke. I don't think it's a fluke or I don't think it's a BS, excuse me, to think that the Saints can win the NFC South next year. I don't think it's BS. I genuinely think it's possible. And I'm just really, really happy with the way this team played. Genuinely. So I don't know where this will lead them to, but I think they're taking the right steps. I really do. There's definitely a path back to relevance with Shuck. Finally, some optimism after some dark years. Build smartly moving forward, onward and upward. Yeah, I agree. Look, it's all in moderation. I don't think the Saints should go out there and spend like $100 million, but I think that the Saints absolutely are going in the right direction. I really do. And you know what? When they had those meaningless wins with Derek Carr, I didn't feel like this. When they had those meaningless wins with Dennis Allen, I didn't feel like this. I feel great right now. I really do. I feel great about where this team's heading. Blair with the super chat. Thank you for support. Blair says, Cam Jordan, 8.5 sacks. What a potential final season. Yeah, and look, he's going up against teams at the end of the season where I think he could get to 10. He's playing the Titans where in a rookie quarterback in Cam Ward, you'd imagine he's probably going to extend some plays more than he should, and maybe that'll lead to a sack, you know? And then Falcons to end the season. You know Cam's stepping up for that one. You know Cam's itching to take on the Falcons. So it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible, and what a send-off that would be for him if that's what he ends up doing. He's the franchise guy, case closed. We're getting closer, man. We're getting closer. I feel much more relaxed with Chuck back there as quarterback. Probably the most relaxed I've been since Breeze. There was a driver who's just rifling passes in there. Yeah, and look, we talked about it earlier. It's the drives they're having that are insane. It's a 93-yard drive. It's a 75-yard drive. Like, he's just doing his damn thing. So I love what we're seeing out of him. I think he's been awesome. And I don't know, man. I'm feeling really freaking good about where this team is heading. Genuinely. I think that there's promise, and I think a lot of it starts with the quarterback. Just keep Shuck healthy and build around him. We'll be Gucci. I couldn't agree more. Staley was getting flamed by the Saints fans. Time to give him his flowers. He has been the driving force. He has been the driving force, without a doubt. There's no question about it. He has really elevated this defense. They're going to finish the year close to being a top 10 defense, and I think a lot of that is a testament to Brandon Staley, genuinely. And man, I'm just really pumped watching him. Really pumped watching him. I think he's been awesome. So shout out to Brandon Staley and what he's done. It's just been cool. It's been a treat to watch. It genuinely has been a treat to watch. If you want the Saints to lose, genuinely get some Gatorade for your wife's boyfriend. Yeah, look, I just don't subscribe to it. I think there's ways, right? Like there are reasons for fans to like advocate for tanking at times, or not even tanking, but like, you know what? Like last year, I remember if the Saints lost, I was like, Dennis Allen will get fired. So I was like, man, if they lose to the Panthers, I wouldn't mind it because then Dennis Allen's out of there. But, you know, right now, F that. I want to see the Saints win. I want to see them win as much as possible. There's 2 games left. I'm going to enjoy these last 2 games that the Saints have. And yeah, I like where this team's heading. I like where this team's heading. I hope that they can keep it up. And quite frankly, I kind of think they will. I don't think this is just some lousy fluke run that they're going on. I think that the Saints got something cooking. I really do. And I really am excited. You know, you ask about how I'm feeling about the future. I think you guys can tell I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling really good. Blair in the super chat says, also, thank you, Aaron Glenn. Yeah, honestly, you know, Aaron Glenn didn't want to sniff the Saints job, didn't want it, goes to the Jets. And look, for all the shit that I've given Kellen Moore, now I don't do it anymore because Kellen Moore is like legitimately like coaching very well right now. I think the job isn't just about what he's done as a play caller, but the fact that he decided, hey, like, I want to draft Tyler Shuck. And I don't know what the vision is exactly, what his vision was, but wanted to go draft Tyler Shuck. And now you're 4-3 with Tyler Shuck as your starter. You're just only validating that decision. You're validating the vision that he had for the player. And it's just awesome to see. Doesn't matter if Shuck is the franchise. He's good enough to build around, improve the roster back to where it should be, and then decide if he's the guy or go out and upgrade. I think that's fair. You're right, though. He gives you the floor now that us fans have been asking for a while. So that's just kind of where we're at. So I'm very happy. If Shuck starts early in the season, is Shaheed still a Saint in your opinion? I don't know. And honestly, I'm glad that he's not. And this is not a knock on Shaheed. Shaheed gets to go play for a contending Seattle team. He changed the game Thursday for them. That kickoff return, he changed the game for them. So this is not me criticizing Rashid Shaheed. I think Rashid Shaheed is a fantastic football player. And I am genuinely, honestly, like truthfully, I'm happy for Rashid Shaheed. I just think that right now, his departure has opened up the field a little bit more for Olave to be a vertical threat. I think that the Saints got to get Vele on the field, which they did. And prior to the injury, Vele was starting to play really good football. I genuinely think this was a trade that worked out for both teams. Seattle gets a playmaker. The Saints opened up some space for Vele. So, yeah, man, they're looking good. Tyler's the franchise guy. He's looking like it right now. I don't think this draft has a must-have guy. I don't know. And look, I don't even view it that way. So I agree with you. I looked at you look at the big board. I like Arvell Reese. He's good. Caleb Downs very good. After that, there's question marks about everyone. I think Mendoza's good. I don't know if Mendoza's a can't miss quarterback. All right. Jordan Tyson's good. Medical history is concerning. Cardinal Tate I like, and Cardinal Tate's still in the Saints range, to be quite honest. The Saints are picking 8 right now. And that's the other thing. The Saints are winning games. They were 7. They just won a game. Now they're 8. They're not dropping that far. And they can't drop any further today. This is the furthest they can go. The furthest they can go, I believe, today is 5 and 10, 8. They're 8th today. You win a game, you're still in Cardinal Tate range, you're in Jeremiah Love range. You're in the range of a lot of players. Maybe add some defensive line help. The Saints are going to have options, Fix interior O-line, special teams are train wreck, get better each day. Yeah, interior O-line's got to get better. I want Mekhi Lemon. I think he's better than Carnell Tate. I'd be fine with Mekhi Lemon as well. The only knock I would have on Mekhi Lemon is the size difference, but let me just say Mekhi Lemon is a freaking demon out there. And I don't care what game. I forget. Maybe it was USC, Illinois. I can't remember what game I watched, and I'm like, man, what am I watching him on the Saints? So if that's where the Saints go, I'd be happy with it. Hindsight is 2020, but the only mistake we made with Shuck is not jumping into this end of the first to get that extra in his rookie contract. You worry about that when you get there. And I'll flip it the other way now because you're not technically wrong. But you know what? If Shuck is the guy, then the Saints can get to that second-year contract 1 year earlier. And for an older rookie, that's probably not a bad thing because you know what? Maybe you get him to that contract a year later, year older. I don't know. Market probably goes up year to year. So you look at it both ways. Bro, the game versus Carolina, the flag was horrendous, but the defense was so good. I thought it was a top 10 defense. Playing out of his mind to be the greatest quarterback in that game. Which one are we talking about right now? I'm probably losing my mind right now. Thoughts on Ruben Bain? I mean, I think Ruben Bain's good. I thought he was kind of impressive yesterday. I don't know if he fits the Saints not medical, athletic checkouts that they like, because they have those like, the criteria that they like, but I don't know if he qualifies that. Kyle Lemon's best comp is St. Brown, so give me him. I would be cool with that. Be cool with that. I think it's now time to think about preparation for next season and pay Alante, please. Might have to do that, man. Masterclass of play calling in the second half, putting his foot on the throat of a team you should beat. So refreshing after watching DA keep bad teams in it. Yeah, and you know what? A big knock that I had on Kellen Moore, I thought he was not that aggressive early in the season. And you know what? Maybe it's something he had to learn, but he's starting to be aggressive. And I think that it's paying off for the better. So I really like what we're seeing. I really do. I think that he's been outstanding. And I genuinely hope this is the actual buildup to a NFC South contender next year. I hope this doesn't end up being a fluke, because it doesn't look like one. It doesn't look like those crappy wins where Brian Brzee blocked a field goal attempt against the Giants to escape at MetLife. Do you think the Saints can still draft Jeremiah Love? I do. I think they're right in that range. I think they could probably win another game and still be in that range, to be quite honest, only because you guys know how it is with running backs. There's always those concerns about whether or not, a team's going to end up, whether or not a team's going to end up wanting to take a running back, positional value, whether or not they feel comfortable doing it. So I think the Saints still have an opportunity to get themselves Jeremiah Love. Running back's obviously a position that always fluctuates in the NFL, especially year to year. You could have your Jahmyr Gibbs that works out and they help out the position, and then you could have the Ashton Genty situation. And that's not to say Genty's not a good player, but the Raiders don't have a good line, so Genty's just pretty much getting stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Taysom looked like himself this week. First off, thank you for the support, Keem. Really appreciate it. And I couldn't agree more. I thought this was Taysom's best game of the season so far. I was very harsh on Taysom a couple hours ago. I was going to say a couple weeks ago. It was a couple hours ago. And I owe that man an apology, because he was fantastic. And really, really love Taysom Hill. I think he's an awesome football player. I think that foolish of me to question what he was going to be able to do. Look, he's had a rough season, but I think if this was his swan song in the Dome and he either retires or moves elsewhere next season, it'd be pretty cool that that's how it ended. Interior O-line's a mess. Just fix it through free agency. No more first-round offensive linemen, please. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, there's not a lot of offensive guards out there to immediately fix your team. But, man, I think that's definitely what you need. You get better guard play. I think you get better guard play, then all of a sudden opens up the run game a little bit more. Obviously, better protection for your quarterback. So they definitely need to fix that. Crazy that we keep building in the draft and then it's free agency in 2027 and have $100+ million. We can really start getting this train rolling. I agree. Look, I think if the Saints are able to have a really good 2026 draft, they'll be rolling in the right direction. So we'll see what happens. But the window is there. Do you think the Saints move on from Warner in favor of Stutzman? I don't know, to be honest. I think they got to get Stutzman on the field, though, at some point. What about Mendoza? And the defense is so good right now, but the flags against Carolina were horrendous, and Tyler Shuck is playing on his mind, but Cameron Jordan and DeMar Davis are old. I mean, I don't think the Saints should draft the quarterback. And I'm going to be honest, no knock at Fernando Mendoza, but if you take a rookie quarterback and you put him around this cast, do you know if they're going to deliver? Like Tyler Shuck's delivering right now, and Audric Estime is his running back, and Mason Tipton's his wide receiver 2, and Kevin Austin's his wide receiver 3. And it's like, well, goddamn. And mind you, no Eric McCoy. I know Cesar Ruiz stinks, but technically that's another starter out. Like the Saints are missing starters, and their rookie quarterback is throwing the ball 49 times, and he's not turning it over, and he's delivering. So just awesome stuff. Chris, you're awesome. Great stream. Now go watch Denver versus Jacksonville. That is the game I've been dying to watch. That's the one that I'm actually going to put on. To be honest, I don't really like the slate for this afternoon. There's not a lot of great games, but that one to me is really, really awesome. So that's definitely the one that I'm going to look at. Do you think we should have drafted Sanders? No, not one bit. Not one bit. Imagine watching that performance and asking about drafting a quarterback. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that people still asking about the quarterback. I just don't know if they're watching enough. Like this is crazy to me. I don't know if we'll keep up, but like the Saints roster, earlier this season, we're all like, man, it's hard to blame Spencer Rattler. Who can win with this roster? Well, apparently Tyler Shuck can. So, and that's not a knock on Rattler, by the way. I don't mean it to be disrespectful, because you know what? Rattler has exceeded his own expectations. But we all were like, man, it's not the quarterback, it's the roster. And now the Saints are 4-3 with their rookie quarterback. So I don't know. I want to give him a little bit of credit. Nola Gang mentioned it, and he's right. The draft class has been really good. So there's a lot to like about the Saints. But anyway, guys, you guys have been phenomenal for about 3.5 hours. Your comments have been awesome. The fact that the Saints just keep winning games is awesome. Really happy about this team. We're going to have more content for you guys this upcoming week. We'll have our film review. We'll also be doing our prospect stuff. I'll have more content coming out soon, but in case I don't talk to anyone here on YouTube in the next day or two, for those celebrating, I hope you guys have a very, very Merry Christmas. Hopefully the Saints win gives you guys a little bit more reason to smile this holiday season. But Saints 5-10 now, not a great overall record, but they've won 3 in a row, 4 out of their last 6, and we're feeling good. As always, guys, thank you so much for the support. If you haven't already, subscribe to Boot Crew Media to get more from the Straight Up Saints podcast, the destination for the Who Dat Nation.